All right, everyone, we are live. Welcome to the judging for Crimson Brush 2025 standard category. We have. I'll move over to this screen here. It's me. Hello. Yes. We have quite a few dropped frames. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it is running off some telephones right now, this Wi-Fi. So I get a special shirt, mates, and Hixie is not high on the list. So of good people. No, he's all right, Hixie. So we're just about to start standard judging. So I am going to be floating around in the background for this, and I'll explain what is happening, hopefully a little bit for everyone. I will try and lower the ambient noise in the room as well as much as possible, but even though we separated our two rooms out, we've still got lots and lots of noise. So we're doing our best. It's imperfect conditions that we find ourselves in, so lots of entries. The noise isn't a big problem yet. Let's actually do a trial run. I'm going to go over to the judging shot. So I should still be heard here on the audio fine. That's our three judges. But the other microphone, we will see how it goes. And I'll make some changes around that. But yeah, let's go and have a look at this one. So this is our judges. All of our standard category entries are on the right-hand side of this shot. That's Liam, our head judge for today, working with Andrew Buckley, stream superstar. And Liam is going to be leading the judging today alongside Seona and Nathan, last year's Best of Standard winner, and Nathan Lee, last year's Masters. I think he won a gold last year in Masters, Nathan. So great quality humans, and more importantly, a great representation of all of the different guilds across Australia that we have running around. So it's pretty exciting. We've gone off early. If we do get some entries right on 2 o'clock, that'll be fine. They'll still get in. Anything that misses the 2 o'clock cutoff won't get judged on stream today, which is a shame. But hey, follow the rules, you peanuts. Follow the rules. I'm just going to go back to that shot over there, and we'll just see the judges are commenced their process. So I'll just walk around and be in shot, and I'll start talking about what they're doing, so you can all get some insights. So you should see me appear in shot very shortly. Okay, so we've got 4 categories. Hi, Bunny. Say hi.
Hello.
That's Bunny. So we've got 4 categories in standard this year. We have a single figure, we have a large figure or bust, we have an open, and we also have a unit category. So our judges are going to go category by category, and hopefully they'll have a pretty good understanding of what we're looking for by the time they reach each of the categories. We've got actual gold, silver, bronze cards you could have used.
Yeah, whatever. words are clearer than cards. There you go. Happy with that?
That's wonderful.
Here we're all about creativity.
Creativity.
Here what we do at the Crimson Brush is we manage many creative and spicy.
We try a lot of things that other people would not dare to try, but we do it anyway because we can.
Yeah. You're going to go.
No, I was going to swear. I don't know.
Oh, don't swear.
No swwearing. Fuck that.
Bun's going to go into booth.
Fluff it, we ball.
Yeah. You're going into booth, and then Trent and I are doing running.
Okay.
They want
Mostly you.
mostly me,
Yeah.
and we're going to do a category. We're going to do they want to go category by category, and they want to do first cut, judge the category.
Yep.
Stop. First cut, next category judge. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
you with me?
Yep.
So when they're doing their cuts, we'll just look over into the booth and we'll have a chin wag. You can have a chin wag, Storm can have a chin
Perfect.
wag, whatever. Just that's how they feel.
Yeah. So we have a code of conduct for judging in Australia that a lot of the guilds have come together and written. So that code of conduct just sets out the expectations we have for judges. For our judges here, it's very important that we reward creativity and we reward people for coming along and entering. So all of the stuff that the judges will be talking about today, we want to give people medals. That's what we want to do, and we want to support people that have come with cool ideas and have come along to their first painting event. We just want to encourage that. So hopefully those judges will have a bit of a chat about things as we progress onwards. All right, I'm going to walk around the back now and have a look at what they're doing.
Jordan and Seb are kind of
Numbers for this.
I'm really happy.
So as you can see, the judges are looking through and doing what we call a first cut. So that's where we take a look at all the models and work out where we think the line is for a potential medal-worthy one. Unfortunately, not every model that we have on the shelves will get brought onto stream to be discussed. That's just the nature of the beast. We are going to have over 300 entries, which is going to make it very hard as it is to get through it in the 2 streams that we have planned. But this first cut will work out stuff that we want to talk about because we think it's in contention for medals, and stuff that is unfortunately missed out. Once we've made that first cut, we will come back and review those decisions once we have a better lens on how things are looking. So it's not an easy part of the process, because at this time you really only get a few seconds to make a call about whether a model is going to make it or not, and that's quite a challenge. So it's a difficult part. It's probably the most important part, to have all of your focus. When you've got a model in front of you, in perfect conditions with a light, it's a lot easier to go, yes, this is good, yes, this is bad, when you're giving it a bit more time. But in the short term, to be able to make snap judgments, it's a challenge. So we have multiple people checking the work of that, so I will do a pass after the judges have done their cut and make sure that we haven't missed anything. Ultimately, this is a subjective experience. Judging is very subjective. We have objective criteria that we work towards, but it has to come back to what these particular judges think is cool, and that's it.
All right, so what the stream we're going to start with squad.
We're starting with squad,
And then we'll go to single figure.
single figure,
Finish on large and
large
scale.
and open. Great.
The biggest category last.
Okay, sounds good. That's Coulter's. It hasn't been photographed, but it's in Masters.
Okay.
It's cool, eh?
Yeah, crazy. Like these fucking weird baby head things. I'm just like, what are they?
Is this on? No worries.
Hello, chat.
I don't even know if they can see us all the way back here.
Yeah. We're farriers.
We're spectators now. So we like light, very low commentary. As you can see, our judges here are perusing the racks.
Sussing out which is going to win it all.
Yeah. Yeah, standard has definitely shown out.
Standard has popped off this year. I think they have carried the most entries too. Like it is, and look at the variety. Like it's crazy to see.
Yeah, it's all sorts of stuff. Lots of bus, lots of single figures.
Yeah, lots of even open and squads. Now
Yeah,
too.
open and squads. Machen and Krieger. We've got some Machen and Krieger figures in there. So as again, lots of prints, some large scale. Yeah, our judges are going to have their work cut out for them, which is good. Have a look at this little Akira looking Infinity
I did
bike.
like that. I did
Quite
like
intelligent to put that on a large plinth to get it up in vision. People can't actually see what we're looking at right now.
that.
So
No, so that's what, I don't even know how we look on the stream.
yeah. What?
Yeah, this camera.
This camera here, excellent. So, very good. We're about to drop Storm in the booth as well at some point, and she'll be on Stream Mod. So if you've got any questions, make sure you filter them through. She'll do her best to get them out onto the floor. First cuts. What's our time?
It is 2.
2 o'clock. Maybe we should flick up. Maybe we'll go flick over into the booth and sit down for a bit and come and have a chat with you there. Alrighty. Tui's in the chat.
Test 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Hixie is definitely in his trademark beanie over there. Just catching up on. Hey Tui, how are you, mate?
Hello.
Always a pleasure to see you in the chat. You can hear us? Very good.
Beautiful.
Hey Jared, how are you? Hey Yabs, you can hear us loud and clear? Very
Perfect.
good. All right. Our judges are starting to ferry over the first category that they're going to judge.
With the Wi-Fi, I just dropped on it. It just said so. It's reconnected now, I think. Back? Sweet. Cool.
So first category, I think we'll reiterate, you might have heard this before, but first category they're going to tackle is going to be standard unit entry, so or group.
I have tried to tell her many times, but she won't listen to me.
Yeah, I sat in the corner with her for 10 minutes before. We just had a bit of a cool-off session.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to use that time to tell me how much she likes Rob Lucci.
Yeah, so there's no chance. I'm sorry, I've tried.
Yeah. I wonder how long it is till we see this, the cell shading one-piece sort of trend that's starting
Come
to
over.
come over.
Yeah, I keep seeing that online. There's some really good one.
This is what you love to see. The ferrying has commenced.
Oh, is it? Can you guys see us and hear us? Just want to confirm. Or is it dropped? Let me see. Bunny could start. Can hear you, can't see you. Okay, as long as you can hear. Sweet. You can just see Bunny, yeah? It's that camera there.
Yeah. Can you see Storm disappearing? Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
We can bring
Perfect.
ourselves back. That's fine.
Here, wait, we go.
There we
Bam,
are.
there we go.
The goon squad is here. Yeah.
All right, we're good.
All right.
Drop for about a minute. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think there's just a Wi-Fi connectivity issue here, but everything else seems to be good. Yeah, so they're just sort of having the first sort of cut at the moment, it seems like, where people are putting things that they like.
Yeah. So some things we've introduced on the table that we're just going to talk about. Maybe you can you could even snap a quick photo and we can put it into the chat or whatever. We've introduced just on the table a few bubble areas. So we have a bubble for silver bronze and we have a bubble for gold silver.
Yep.
And these are sort of rejudging bubbles. So something we've learned over the time doing our streams for judging is that when we're judging so many things, sometimes something that gets judged very early might be judged as this is potentially a gold, but we need to see what the field looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
So with that in mind, we need to make sure that we do revisit those models later in the judging process just to see where they're aligning.
Yeah.
So we've put 2 bubbles down on the table. If you see something go into a bubble, if you're at the event and watching this and you see something go into that area on a table, that's basically what that means. So.
Yeah. So what does it say here? Same venue as last year? Yes, it is the same venue as last year. We now have a second room though. So this main room that you can see with this display here. Nope, wrong one. This one. where there's some judging, and then the display stands here. This is all the main showroom where we have all of the models and a couple of vendors, and then the room next to us now has the painting lounge, which we've got about 50 tables and chairs in there that are completely sold out and full of people painting, and a projector projecting this stream there as well. So
Yes. All right, so we're going to now just pause the stream for 5 minutes as our judges have approached and
getting ready.
getting comfortable and getting seated.
Yep.
We're going to get them set up with their mics.
Yep.
And then we're going to kick this show off. So
get ready for standard judging for CB25.
Indeed. All right, we'll see you soon.
1 second.
That's that mic. Okay. So you may just want to lower the gain a little bit on the back there, Bucks.
Towards you, yeah?
Yep. You just get the people to do an audio check on how that quality is.
How's audio?
Because it's going red. Just needs to come down a little bit.
Yeah, it's too high. There you go.
Sweet spot. So you guys should talk now and see how that picks it up.
Yeah, it's straight into red as soon as Dano says anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's that?
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Speaking and judging. Judging
Looks
and
good,
speaking.
but how does it
Testing
sound?
the microphone.
How does it sound?
Yab's
still-
staring at you right now. He said it's cheeky. He's cheeky putting Miggy on. He's got a Twitch strike for him. we should rebel against no.
Yeah, we're really inviting trouble, aren't we?
He got struck for just painting a miniature.
Yeah. It's too realistic.
It's easily done.
Shall we?
Literally too much precision.
All right, we're good to go. Obviously, this is our wonderful judges. They're here. We will let you take over, and I'm going to get out there and get ready to ferry stuff.
Okay, let's do some judging.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So, shall we just start with these
Have we been
guys?
pre-introduced, or do we have to introduce
No, you're
ourselves?
good. You can introduce yourselves if you want.
I'm Liam.
Hi, Liam.
Hello, stream.
Hello, stream. I'm Seona.
I am Nathan, or Migback as I'm known in some circles.
And today we'll be your judging panel.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
excited.
So we got a sampling of different things to look at from the unit/squad category.
Yep, start with this one.
Yeah. Well, let's just kind of chuck them all side by side, and I'll make them vaguely stream visible. Can we?
Yeah, I can't get the boom mic to connect to the thing, so
See what I've done.
on the laptop.
I'm gonna try and keep it different, so you guys don't worry about it too much.
Just moving these guys over so that we have them
Do we need a
available.
mark on there, or you good?
Yeah, I'll set some tape up so you've got some.
A mark would help.
What I did last year
you
was
wanna do a
like, I
little
think I had a
box
box, yeah, or I had a cross. You know, I put a cross.
I mean, it's not too bad, but I'm definitely gonna get distracted at some point and then just be like, oh, look at this model.
So
It's really good.
okay. What we want is for you to have a
some
little bit further up, is the angle a little bit more up here.
Yeah. Yep.
Just look on here.
Roughly like that.
Yeah, a little bit higher. Away towards.
All right. So how about you guys? You put it to a place where you're all comfortable, and I'll sort the camera to work.
Yeah. I mean, actually, okay, yeah, that's a good point. Are we alright with this?
Yep,
Yeah.
I can see it over there as well.
fine.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So if you've got visual,
Yeah, I'll keep half an eye on it.
Happy? Cool.
Yep, looks good.
Yep. Okay, so we've got a
just
few
cyclops. You've
different
got a
options.
bar across your eyes.
Just paint some eyes on the.
The invisible man. Okay, sweet.
So I really like these guys. I think they've been painted extremely competently.
Yeah.
The Marvel or the.
The Marvel guys, these guys.
Yeah, they're definitely nice.
Yeah.
Have a look at that one.
Yep.
The creativity of this one is.
I do like the scene, the diorama scene in that one. I think it's quite nicely done. It's
So straight in with the dusting brush.
oh, yeah.
Quite dusty on this one.
Dusty Minis, people.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Little pre-dusting. Okay. Alright.
Forward.
Forward. Whoops.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Okay. I would definitely say this one is technically probably the weakest out of these
Yeah.
three selections. So the blending here is I mean, borderline not blending. It's just
Yeah.
lines of color.
Yeah, yeah.
With
There has been some
slight
blending, but it
transition
could be
between
pushed
them.
a little further.
Yeah.
And it's a good attempt. Like the idea is there.
Yeah,
and
colour
it's
scheme is very
represented.
cool.
Yep. The colours are nice. There's
Do we
recognition.
want to move this camera back a little so that...
We may have to do it back
Yeah,
slightly.
because
I keep-
otherwise we can't
Yeah.
get it.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll wear glasses so that I'm less
might
tempted to
help.
put it like 4
Right in
mil
your
from my
face,
face.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do you want me to try and angle the monitor a little bit for you?
I think we're okay. I mean, you may as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go for it.
yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like the color selection. There's a kind of an understanding of volume, I suppose, on the
Yes,
armor. So
yeah.
you can see there's this highlight here on the
And the
top.
attempt at blending on the little loincloth
Yeah.
is quite ambitious too.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. Sort of violet through sky blue
Through
transition.
the sky blue, yeah.
The idea is there. It's just the execution.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
just
Yeah.
technique really. It's just
Yeah.
needs another.
I also think you have to do
analysis.
something with the flats of these blades, right? You can't just be like
yeah.
that solid black
Yeah.
and nothing else, you know?
Yeah, there's some edge highlighting there, but I think there needs to be something
Yeah, either
else.
blue or green for this lettering as well might be quite interesting actually. If that was like a glowy green
Yeah.
or blue,
Yeah.
I think that would help it a lot. Okay. So this is down the lower end from these three, then, let's
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
So we're just going to arrange them like that. Okay. And then what we've got to do is decide between these ones.
Yeah.
I think the lighting on the Marvel is fairly soft and even across the board, but the
Yeah.
attention to the volumes is definitely there.
Yeah.
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 And the interaction with the lights that are on some of the minis with the who do we have? Some guy casting fire, someone exploding. Is that Jubilee?
I don't know names of anyone. Yeah. I'm
And
not good
Magneto
on
as
this
well.
stuff.
The environmental
Oh, yeah, I do
interaction
like
with the lighting. Yeah.
Oh, that's quite
I
nice.
really
this
like
okay.
this one. I think
that's definitely
that
stand out there.
the blending on this one is beautiful. The light on the volumes is really nice.
Yeah. Again, though,
Dusty?
very dusty.
I mean, that might be this room.
Yeah, it might be the room.
Could be.
Yeah. I actually picked up a few cards before, like the ones that we have the entry numbers on.
Right.
And they were covered in dust.
Yeah.
I was like, this card has been here for like 10 minutes, and it's absolutely coated in dust. Okay,
I think that's definitely
possibly, somehow. Don't know it's done it again.
Alright.
Okay, I think this one's really nice, but we also want to make sure that we're rewarding like consistency of execution across
Yeah,
the unit.
this is
right?
It is a
definitely
collective,
a
yeah.
beautiful squad.
Yes.
They go together. They obviously
Yeah.
come from the same, you know, painting table. It's very nicely done.
I think the contrast between the two, though, is quite different.
Yeah.
Juggernaut is very soft and fairly flat, as opposed to Magneto, where you've got those high points of.
Some of these are much more simplistic than others, for sure.
Yeah. That's
also
a
there's a
stylistic
massive
choice, I
mold line.
think, because of the fancy costume and all the metallics over here, and this guy's wearing mostly leather and.
There's also
you
a
know.
huge mold line on his hammer.
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
No, edge highlight your mold lines.
I think you can start a hashtag.
Make a
Hashtag
feature.
edge highlight your mold lines.
Feature out of the mold lines. I love this one. I think her
one's
face
very
is
nice.
spectacular.
Yeah.
And the fire effect on the explosion is also brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. I would be inclined to say this, then this.
Yeah,
would
this
be
one at the
my
top.
arrangement
Yeah,
of them.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think I really like the composition of this, but I also want to be a little bit careful of saying that because these are all on one base and therefore have more ability to create a composition, that immediately makes it better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think we're kind of attacking the concept of a unit.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Which I don't really want to
Oh,
do.
this doesn't really work as a unit because you can't play them as separate pieces.
Yeah, I don't think that we're using that definition of unit,
Yeah.
but yes, no, I think if you just look at the Tyranids and the quality of execution, it's
Yeah.
definitely lower than these.
Yeah.
I like this as a scene a lot though, so I mean, it's lovely work, very nice. Okay, let's say that's the order for those.
I want to quickly show all of those on stream.
Sure. So we got Magneto, what a legend. I'll try to zoom.
There you go. That's good. Yeah, that's nice.
This dude.
Delicious.
This one's really good though, I
Oh,
say
I
it's
love-
very
I love
nicely
it.
executed.
Yeah, I really like him.
I have absolutely no idea who this is, but yeah, exactly. That's Storm. Famously.
Famously, that's exactly me.
That doesn't work. Storm is also a superhero, right? So
Yeah,
is
that's
my
it there, isn't it?
Is that
Isn't
Storm?
that
No.
Storm there?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I don't
That
know.
is
I can tell you the
someone
answer.
Frost.
I can tell
Oh
you.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Just-
because that's all MCP. That's Toad, Magneto, Blob,
Yeah.
Frost,
That's the name of the world.
Yeah.
Pyro, Mystique, Sabretooth, Rogue, Juggernaut.
So yours not even there?
Very nice.
No storm.
No storm. Minus points for no storm.
The faces across the board are very, very
Oh
well
yeah, the
executed.
faces are so good in this.
These are very, oh, this one's really nice as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the only thing I would critique with this is the quality across the unit is a little bit inconsistent. Some of them are definitely much better than others.
Yeah.
But the peak is very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Oop, there we go. Yeah,
Good
lovely
control of the
volume.
white as well.
Yeah, the highlights are really well thought out and colors are well done. Faces are nice and delicate and carefully.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yeah, her face is
Yeah,
fantastic.
Face looks real good on the camera.
yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah, that's very nice, especially
I
that
like the
scale.
treatment of the base on that one, especially with the auto.
Yeah, the glow really works well. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Okay,
All right.
Have they painted the tufts?
if they painted the tufts.
Tufts, are they painted?
I think these are nicely integrated tufts actually. Just because in the deep bits they do shade down
Yeah.
quite
Oh, yeah,
nicely.
yeah.
I recken there's a wash that's gone in there.
That's
or
it.
something.
Yeah, there's definitely a gradient, especially
Yeah. Very nice. Well, thank God for that. That would have been straight
Would've
back
knocked
to
it right
nothing.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
Great. I'm reasonably happy with that order. Let's
That's
do
in
the
the
rest
other
of them.
I just wish they were on a little.
Yeah, it would be nice
tray.
if they were on a tray or a big plinth or something. Even just blue tack to it would help.
I'm just going to put them over here.
PSA for squad entries.
Something for us to recommend. Swap us some stuff. I think we'll just bring a few more in for the moment.
Yeah.
As much of it as you can show.
Chris said, he goes, don't try to glue it. He goes, let it form on the pin. He goes,
Yep.
itself, but it goes in holes to make it glue. And then where it glues up the bottom, you can just dry. And then he said, where the void is between
Just make sure the numbers stay there. That's it. Whoop. That's gonna need some. Yeah. Literally a spiderweb on this one. It's getting more.
hair, spiderweb?
Yeah, it's getting more kind of dusty and
Yeah. There is a
interesting.
bit of just dust floating around in here.
Yeah. I think this room is probably not used much for a lot of it yet. And then we all come in here, stir up all the dust. Okay.
I like this one. I think it's got a nice, well thought out scenery.
Yeah.
I
think
like
if our-
the composition of it. I know we're not judging on diorama, but I like the composition of it. The way that
Yeah.
he sort of falls off the end, and these two guys are out front. He's very clearly looking at the same sort of thing.
Yeah. I think that the metals are probably a little bit too simplistic.
Yeah, they are.
There's
yeah.
really not much
Yeah,
here.
there could be a little bit more.
Some inks or something to add a little bit of volume to it, be my
A little bit of
recommendation.
highlighting on the edges and stuff.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as a scene, it's really nice. I
It
like the
is,
colours
yeah.
of the lizard guys as well, that green to blue.
Yes.
Very nice
Yeah, they
rendition.
have a nice,
And then the red.
a nice contrast with the sort of more
And the red is a
realistic
really good
base.
focal point as
Yeah,
well.
it is. Yeah.
Quite, yeah.
Such a nice figure to highlight.
Yeah, and the base is well balanced against it. I would be saying this is probably either a silver or a
Yeah,
bronze.
I would say probably silver bronze. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, so say
In the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we say in the
And
centre for
then to be
now.
decided later.
Yeah.
What else we got? These guys over here.
Let's do silver, bronze. Okay. And these dudes.
So I think similar to the Marvel pieces, it's a very like soft, even light over the whole thing. I think the difference
this
in
is
that
much more
is that
Yeah, this is it's quite a
the contrast in the
simple.
shadows much smaller.
I think
very
the
flat,
simplistic
yeah.
style of the paint job suits the style of the
Yeah.
model quite
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. I think that's
But I think it could also have been pushed a little bit here and there, you know, just a little bit more for the volumes a little bit more highlight.
That's what we got. Yeah. I think this is either a bronze or a commended. I actually
Yeah.
say commended as my vote.
I think commended, and then
No, it's just me.
can they? Is
What,
okay?
No,
he not
you're
stuck down?
doing great work, mate. Absolutely
No,
love it. I'm not serious. You're changing the camera. It's doing perfect. I don't have to do anything. It's my favourite.
Yeah, I would go for commended for this one. We
Yeah.
can consider it again at the end
Yeah,
if
yeah.
we want to. Maybe at the very end when we've judged everything.
Yeah.
We can have a bit of a thought about it.
Definitely come back to it.
Okay, down. Yeah. You make a little extra section.
Let's get these guys moved over to the gold.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, these look really banging on the camera. You really see that, jeez. At least on a tiny screen, anyway. They look
They
really
look
good.
great on there.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay. No, these are very nice, actually. So there's a
I like
lot
the
more
integration of
understanding
the,
of volume.
The integration of the dust on the feet as well.
Yeah, I like the. I like the way the base impacts on the model. I like the way that they've
Yeah.
done a contrast with the color for the
Yeah,
base
yeah.
and the model.
This palette is very nice.
Yes,
It's three
it is.
colours.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
purple, the reddish, orange, and
Yeah,
blue.
yeah.
Really good.
And there's not too much going on in the color palette that it's just confusing to the eye.
I think this is the first NMM we've seen so far that's
Oh, okay.
reasonably effective.
Yep.
Like this gun, actually, to me, looks quite good.
Yeah.
Looks shiny. I think it could use more contrast. Like the shadows, probably not deep enough. The highlights quite nice. And maybe a sharper edge highlight.
Yeah.
I like the
Overall, I
blending
think
on the,
you're right
the
on
sword in particular here looks pretty good. On the
Yeah.
sword back here, the
Yeah, yeah.
blending works really nice.
Certainly, if we're on the spectrum from the what are those Eldar dudes called, the Incubi,
Yeah.
through to the Marvel guys, this would be more up the higher end.
Yes,
Like the
high silver.
They're called Cruise, yeah.
yeah.
They're really good. I love
love
them.
that.
It's a great model.
Yeah, I am the expert. I painted one.
Warhammer Hour with Storm.
Yeah, John
feel
Space
like
Marine.
this-
What's a Space Marine?
This might be a thing that comes up on a few things, but like painting the undersides of things,
Sure.
the bottom of that, like the wall pick, the inside of the sword on this guy.
Oh yeah, it's very dark.
A couple of things.
The attention's definitely on the
On
more
the
visible
viewable-
areas, but when you're
viewable.
going on a display
Yeah.
Yeah.
piece,
I would still rate it fairly
it's still
high.
High silver.
definitely on the higher
There's a
end.
little bit of freehand. It looks quite nice.
Oh, I love how much colour variation there is in this.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
I think for things to improve, I would recommend that there's a lot of areas where the materials are not very well separated.
Yeah.
So you need like some nice dark lines
Yeah,
between
so
things.
like lining, yeah.
This would be a particularly good example. So you have this little recess in the what are these things called? Plasma rifle, pulse rifle,
Bolt
pulse rifle.
or something, I don't know. I
it's
don't
pulse
know,
rifle.
Warhammer.
You got all these little looking at Storm
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
Warhammer knowledge.
Tell us what it is, Storm.
All these little bits just don't stand out at all. They just need some fairly
A little bit more
simplistic
contrast. A
black
little bit more
lining.
contrast.
And I think that's the thing as well. That's the back of the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the backs of things,
Yeah.
the undersides of things.
And also probably the edges as well. There's lots of edges that could be highlighted a bit more sharply to create more contrast between the elements.
Push the highlights a little bit higher.
Compositionally, I think I love them. It's very nice.
Yeah,
It's actually a
they
beautiful colour scheme. I think silver or gold.
I would put it
Slightly-
high silver gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Bubble, please. Silver gold. Yeah. Quick pass at the end.
Speaking of non-metallic metals,
There are many bubbles, you will need to specify.
We will,
Yes.
we will.
The silver
We will.
gold bubble, that one.
We will.
Oh, can you
Pulse
move
rifle.
yeah, pulse rifle.
Pulse rifle.
Yeah, we were right. We had it.
Chat was right.
Yeah.
I think these look super smooth to my
Yeah.
eyes. I really like the NMM.
Yeah. This would be the best NMM.
Yeah,
I
it is
reckon.
so far, yeah.
I mean, this bracelet, for example, is actually
Oh, yeah.
very nicely
It's
rendered.
so good.
Definitely would give that
And the
one a
work on
tick.
the weapons and his little tail spikes and everything on the gold is really
I mean, on the
good.
camera, it looks absolutely excellent.
And the blend and the transition from the more fleshy parts to the scale bits is done really well.
I would
Yeah.
put this in gold. I
Scientific.
think everything here is gold.
What is it like? Anatomy, the fleshy parts from the scale.
We're all about science here.
I think your point about the undersides and stuff is still holding true here. So, you know, like as you move
hanging
away
the
from the
underside,
light
yeah, you can
source,
see that, yeah.
the value of the shadow and the highlight both needs to shift down. So in these shadowed areas, you should have very deep shadows, and then highlights that are maybe like mid-tones. So it's still going to look quite contrasting and shiny, but it's living in a different kind of area of light. And there's not so much of that. It's kind of just less painted in the darker
Yes.
areas.
Yeah.
So that would be something to work on there. And again, I think separation. There's not quite enough separation between elements. Around these, you know, a nice dark line through that.
Yeah.
But the colours are
Yeah.
really nice. The NMM, I think, is by a good bit.
The little
nicest.
purple on the weapon hafts is also very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very nice little pop of colour
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And very sort of monotone colour scheme. It's nice to have that.
Yep. Okay, let's say gold
Yep.
for this and how quickly
Yeah,
they
go
get.
for that one.
Yep. I'm going to show them on stream real quick. So we just did one of them, basically. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, they look super
nice.
good on,
Yeah.
on the monitor over there. They're really nice.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, thank you.
I think because it's
Oh,
nicely
it's really good.
contrasted and everything.
Yeah, nice.
And also, this light is really good for warmer colours. It
is.
suits them very well.
Is that one of those red grass ones?
Yeah.
I'd
not a
go in on
sponsor.
that.
Not a sponsor. Come on, Redgrass. Yeah. Give Dano a call.
Yep.
Answer his calls.
Do it.
He's calling every day.
Sending out the
He's
bat
desperate.
signal.
Yeah. No, it's really nice. Love this one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're great. Gold.
Okay.
Nice. Next.
What we are going to do is...
Look at these guys.
Oh, there's one more.
There's two more.
There's two more. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we just rank them like this, and then we decide, like, are we being too generous, we put too much stuff in, or a bit too much. Final pass.
So we'll do a little pause after this.
Little pause.
Go
Go
ahead, have
do
a
first cut for something else.
Yep, sounds good.
Maybe open, because there's some, like, ludicrously enormous
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Might be good to get that done.
Yep.
Okay. Some little orc dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Again, bloody. This is dust that was definitely in the figure. This
Oh,
one.
that's in the paint. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure mine are a little bit like that because I have cats. So.
Yes, picking cat hair off
Yep.
somebody.
Quite flexible, that bit.
Cool. There's none of them have fallen off their base yet. That's a good start.
Everyone's attached.
Yeah.
Okay, this would be another one with pretty decent NMM by
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
decent execution of it.
I like the treatment of all the volumes and the musculature on them.
Yep.
That's, quite
There's
well
nice
done.
colour variation in that green
Yeah.
flesh as well.
It's
There
a
is a
pretty
little
nice
bit of
palette as well.
red and
The guy with the standard over there, the banner, dude,
Yeah, it's
looks
good, yeah.
pretty good too.
I believe the technical term is gambeson of this guy. Each of those like quilts has been done really well.
Oh yeah,
I like the banner.
yeah.
I mean, this is cool.
I need another lamp
It's got a pistol. Yeah, I know. We need broader light, I think.
and more cameras. More cameras.
More cameras.
Can we do like a 5-cam
Yeah,
judge
yeah.
setup?
I want all the
Have mine
angles.
over
One for each face, so you get the reactions,
Yeah.
and then 2 for the
Yeah.
figures.
And I've got GoPros.
And then I'll be like, well,
Yeah.
this is obviously a cut.
Strap a
And Siona's
GoPro
gonna
to
be like-
everyone's head.
What?
And we'll have like, you know,
I'll be all offended.
yeah. We
Press
can
the
do
button
like
real
some,
quick behind.
we can do like some soap opera cuts,
Joe Cam.
face to face.
I'd be inclined to put this in gold, you know. I really
Really?
like the way
Okay.
this is done because, like, look at all the attention to detail in the bases of them. And
The little steel caps on the shoes look really great on camera as
Yeah,
well.
they really
Like
very well.
really great. The first one that you had.
I think this is either a gold or a silver.
yeah, high silver to
That's
gold.
my vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's beautiful.
Silver gold bubble. We're being overly bubble oriented
Yeah.
I
here.
think for consistency's sake on like each of these models, I would put these in silver.
Okay.
Just for the flat kind of lighting across the whole board. The NMM's done
sure,
like
yeah.
again the representation's
Yeah, yeah.
there and it's
Yeah.
done really well, but the blending on these the toe caps across the board they kind of just put there and
Yeah.
now.
And I think that would be my feedback as well. If I was going to
Spend
give
another
feedback to the
hour or
person
two
who
on the
painted these.
blending here and there.
I mean, I think it's the
Yeah.
same for the majority of stuff in standard, which
Yeah.
is not surprising because it's a somewhat more complex thing to understand. But everything is kind of painted as though the light is just unidirectional
Yeah,
and
ambient light.
uniform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Which
don't
is
know, the
fine,
NMM
but
is
if you
kind
want
of-
it to really stand out, give
Yes.
us some
The
direction.
NMM is kind of lit a bit like this,
Yeah.
right? And yet underneath his arm is not particularly dark.
Yeah.
You know, it's darker, but it's not that contrasted. I think that type of like global
Yeah,
contrast
that
would
maybe
be
just
something to
drops
work
it
on.
down into silver category.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's almost like a general piece of feedback for
Yeah.
standard entrance because almost everything
Agreed,
seems
yeah.
to be like that so far. We'll see as we get there. Hopefully, yeah, it is. And then we got a teeny tiny.
You said you wanted more camera.
Well,
Not on me.
a big
11
unit
tiny
of
dwarves.
teeny tiny dwarves.
I have enough cameras on me right now. Thank you very
It
much.
upsets me that there's 11,
Oh, we can't even.
and then
get
not on
focus
a
there.
single.
Let's go out a little bit. See if we can. How's that?
I think there's a focus button on the front of those.
Whoa. Sorry.
There
Liam
it is.
has destroyed the photos on this.
Look at my massive
Yeah, the
hand.
makeup situation.
Yeah, that's about right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Looks great.
And they're such little dudes anyway.
Yeah, they're tiny.
This guy has
They're
2 right
heavy,
hands.
these ones.
Yeah, they are metal, I think, aren't they?
Holy
Yeah.
crap, he does.
Wow. Just put it on the table. It's like,
Yeah, when I was
But, like,
moving
it-
them over, they're so.
I've got to mime this out. Yeah, he does have 2 right hands.
2 right hands.
he does?
But it looks like it's the right model.
Yeah. It's not a kit basher.
No.
He's just inexplicably got 2 right hands.
That's weird.
Professional
Is
maneuver
that
right
the
there.
sculpt?
Do you want to
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, that's right hand Joe. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, unless the person who painted this has very confusingly cut off his thumb and sculpted a right-hand thumb on the left hand, I'm gonna guess
Well,
it's
they're
on
metal.
the original sculpt. They are metal.
They are
There's
metal.
so much work in those tattoos.
Yeah.
They are quite cool.
I think
aren't
this
Yep.
kind of demonstrates like the contrast of the lighting direction.
Yes. Yeah. This is definitely a better understanding of global
they?
lighting.
Yeah.
I think the metals are for the most part just some metal.
Pretty
Yeah.
basic, yeah.
Yeah, which is not great, but there's a lot of precision in the freehand tattoos,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
would like to reward in some way.
Definitely.
I mean, these are very nice, right? I think if you can paint that, you deserve some sort of reward.
Yeah.
Also, the skin actually is quite well done.
Done really well.
I mean, there's good color variation, there's good contrast.
And it fits like a
reddish kind of
darker
tone.
kind of scheme
Yeah,
as well.
and you can see there's like definitely some directional lighting going on
Yeah,
here
for
with
sure.
the shadows. Yeah.
They look pretty good on camera, which is
They do, yeah.
past that check.
A nice OSL there. But yeah, some things could be shifted. But
Yep. I also think the consistency across the units.
Yeah.
Like these are all painted fairly similar as far as I can tell. And it's quite a big unit too. I don't know, this is a real tough one again.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a look over the whole thing
Yeah.
and decide what's gold, what's silver, because that's the line that we're getting a bit stuck on.
Yeah, I think
I'd
myself.
say,
myself.
yeah, silver gold bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Bubble again.
Yep.
Okay. That's all of the units / squads. So we're gonna have to go and review that.
Silver gold bubble.
BP, do you want to?
Go and pause and
Yeah.
do a little final cut.
Yeah, monster.
We're gonna get a review of that, and then first cut again on the category and repeat. Okay.
We'll be back.
Storm.
Yep.
Break a clock.
Break a clock.
Brief one.
Bye, friends.
Yeah.
Model view.
Back soon.
Break.
And
Okay.
we are back.
So we can start with the tinier things, and then I'll zoom way
Oh,
out.
is that crab? Hell yeah. Sorry.
I like
Yeah.
the crowd.
Love the crab.
It's nice. I like it.
Composition's nice.
Yeah.
Color choice is really good.
Yeah.
Placements, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I like
Colour
the
scheme
bounce
is
of the
really
blue from underneath.
striking. Oh yeah, the bounce light from the base of the
Yeah.
yeah
I think initially I would say it's at least a silver.
yeah
That'd be my
at least.
read.
Silver gold bubble.
Yeah, based on what we've like rewarded so far.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Killing me the dust. Okay. Yep. So that's nice.
Yes.
I like the colours. Not as striking on the camera as some of them, but I think it's good.
I think it's better with a darker background.
Yeah,
For
probably.
sure, because you can see that light underneath it
Yeah.
quite clearly. It's nice.
Oh, I didn't even know there's a tiny crab on the front.
There is.
And then we
Oh,
have
there is.
a little sort of jewel-esque scene here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The elf is markedly more well painted.
Yeah. Are they playing football?
It's Blood Bowl.
Football. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Which-
See, I don't
which
know
is
anything about
basically
these things.
football as
Yeah,
far as
right.
I know.
Okay. Yep.
I'm imagining someone on stream is going to be very angry about that comparison, but
I'm sorry.
no, I think it's like sort of literally fantasy football.
Yeah,
That was
fantasy
kind of the
football,
origin
yeah.
of Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't play it. It's a cool setting.
It is. Yeah. I was just curious about the lines on the.
Yes,
field.
that's
Yeah.
the rationale. Yeah. I would say possibly a bronze.
Yeah, I think so. That's good.
That's my initial instinct. Bronze.
I agree.
Set them out that way.
This one's fun. I like this. I do wonder whether
That's definitely creative.
Oh yeah. I have no idea whether this is printed or not.
That's my question.
I think
Yeah,
it's
I
printed.
think it's printed. Yeah.
Given the paint jobs.
It's hard to tell because normally the way you tell is there's a sort of grid and a dotted texture, but because it's covered in like glossy stuff, I can't really see the texture. I reckon. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's paper. I'm willing.
so
I'm
they've
willing to
painted
stake
the
my
model and
reputation
then
on it.
Photographed and printed.
I can see a bit of a woven texture, I think. So I think it's printed on something. Yeah, it's very cool though.
It is cool. It's a nice creative idea.
Yeah,
It's
conceptually, I
well
really like it.
executed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also actually in the whether it's printed or not. What it's printed is actually that.
Yeah.
Like it actually
Yeah,
matches the posing and everything.
photograph the model
Yeah.
after finished
Yeah.
painting it. Yeah.
I don't think it's a photograph of the model.
Might be.
I think would it be like
Or it's
concept
just
art or
art.
something?
Yeah. I'm not
Because
sure
the pose
exactly
of the
how
orc
it was
is
done.
different, like the arrangement of the orc.
Is it?
But like, I feel like it is.
No, I reckon it's the same, but he's angled slightly different.
Yeah, it's like different angle. Yeah.
Yeah. It might be photo. Yeah, it could be correct. I
I
like
mean,
it.
that's how I would do it.
Yes, that would be the most kind
Yeah.
of sensible way, wouldn't it? Okay, I like it from a creative standpoint.
Yeah.
It's also this would be WoW, right? Pretty sure World of Warcraft. So that's the orc
Legally
planet.
distinct.
Yeah,
Crossover.
legally distinct.
Sure, yeah. But
Not
that's
world of-
the
yeah.
concept I think that's going on
Yeah.
here.
Esque.
So there's a nice kind of story.
There
element.
is. Yeah. I like that.
Yep. I think this is silver or gold. Is my instinct, especially within this category.
Yeah.
I reckon that's going to be the way.
Yeah.
Let's go like this. And we'll just keep it on the table for a sec. I think just for
Put this
comparison's sake.
aside so that we can
Sure. Yeah. Ah, yes, we are going to have a real
let's talk about
logistical
its style.
challenge.
Yes.
It's a massive frame.
Yeah.
Wrong way. Sweet.
It's a dust.
It's a dust. Yeah.
Yes, I mean everything. I don't know why I keep tapping this again. It's just constantly.
Yeah. She's gonna need it all afternoon.
Yeah. Everything is just constantly real dusty. I mean, you can see it well enough anyway. Okay. Sweet.
I like aspects of this.
Yeah.
I think the skin's painted quite well. I like the tattoos and the texture on the hat. But then there's other parts that haven't been given quite as much attention.
Yeah.
It's let it
The
down
hair
a
is
little bit.
definitely just a wash on
Yeah.
a base coat.
Yeah.
So it's very simplistically rendered. Doesn't really have any particular
I think
lighting.
that's contrasting.
Oh yeah.
well.
Maybe contrast. Yeah.
Joe,
Looks a bit like it.
live streamed in the next room as well with audio.
I mean, it's a tough comparison to make, but I think this is better painted than this.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think the frame also really distracts from
Yeah.
from the figure.
Yeah,
I think it would be better if it was darker.
Yeah. I do not think white is the ideal color for this. I also think the size of it is a little bit awkward because his little hat intrudes over the top of the frame. So
Yeah.
there's not really a dark delineation between the two things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think just the
if I can
black
line it up
background as
properly for the
well, yeah.
camera, it looks like that from the front.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't have a nice
I mean, it's a nice idea to put him in a frame like that.
Yeah, sure.
Figure like that.
Yeah.
I think if
In a
the
frame, but-
frame was a different colour, and
Yeah.
the background had some detail in it, the hat moving out of frame could be a good element.
Yeah.
I just think more than
Yes.
this composition.
I think also if you're going to put stuff in a frame, kind of just from a purely narrative standpoint, I would like to know why it's in a frame.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
like when you see like a kind of big battle scene, it looks like a piece of art,
Yeah.
and it's in a frame.
Yeah.
There's a real rationale to it.
Yes.
Like this is a two-dimensional scene. It's captured in time. It's probably reproducing an illustration. And you put a frame on it, that kind of emphasizes that story.
Yeah.
As far as I can think, this is just a guy in a frame.
Yeah, well, it's a difficult miniature to mount because of the shape of
Yes.
the back of it. So
It is. Yeah.
It's designed to be in a frame, but why is it in that frame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need something to make that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go commended for initial instinct.
Yeah, I'd say
Agreed.
commended, especially for the texture that they've got in the hat as well, and the
Yeah.
freehand tattoos are a nice touch.
Paint wise, that's definitely okay. Down that end.
Commended.
Pop its little thing
Might
out.
need to zoom your camera
Yes,
out a
this is
little
going to
bit
end
for
up
this guy.
somewhat
We're
mad.
going to be filming from the ceiling.
Whoa, it's a baby!
It's a baby.
It's a baby in a robot. Yeah. I don't know what this is. It's a very
It
cool
is
kit, and inexplicably,
Such a weird model, but I kind of love it.
somehow there are
Really.
two of these here today.
Love it. What?
Which seems remarkable. Yes, there is another
my God.
baby in a robot
Oh, is
at
there?
the Crimson Brush. Yeah,
That's our theme this year.
apparently.
Babies and
Baby and a
robots.
robot.
Yeah.
Babies and robots.
I like the pop of magenta on the little bunny in her hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Creates a nice focus for that. I feel
Is his hat texture or paint? I
It
think
is
it's
texture.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. It looks
The skin on the
realistic.
baby is awesome. I think
Yeah,
it's
no,
really
yeah.
cute.
Nicely
Really
done.
nice little scene.
I think this whole thing is a little bit too flat and maybe
It is
kind of
quite, yeah.
lacking in weathering or something to break it up.
with the environment that it's in, the purpley touches on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's not kind of anywhere else.
Might be nice to see some reflected
Yeah,
light
yeah.
from that.
Something to tie it all.
Even just some
Yeah.
purple dust on the
Yeah,
boots, you know?
dust.
Like he's walking in this very purple looking landscape.
Yeah.
I think something to tie the figure to the base would be useful. Okay.
I would put this in bronze,
Yeah, I was
just
just
for
thinking bronze
the
too,
creativity
yeah.
of the
Definitely
scene.
creative.
Yep. So you think it's sort of
And the
bronze
execution
or
of the like skins and
you think quality wise it's sort of bronze or commended, but you like the creativity of it and that should be rewarded for
Yeah,
bronze?
yeah.
Yeah? Okay, I think I agree with that, yeah. That's reasonable. Definitely a lot more contrast could be added to this for sure. Especially
and
something
even
so
things like her pants here. We could do with more shadows in under here.
I think
very flat.
compositionally as well, just on color choices, like the whatever the under fabric
Yeah.
portions, the bellows joints of the baby's suit.
yeah, it should be the
Something
color for
other
sure.
lines.
Yeah, different
Yeah. It looks odd, doesn't it? Yeah. Even if they were just shaded more deeply,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So they stand out a bit more, you'd get something
That
else.
separation.
Yeah. So cool, like the creativity. I think execution wise could be improved. Okay.
Or bronze.
Bronze,
Was that this one?
This is
And this one, I don't even know where to start with this one. That's insane.
yeah.
I know, it's so cute though.
It is cute.
I love it.
I would have,
I think this is either a bronze or a commander.
yeah, I would have liked to have seen, especially for a figure this scale, more finish contrast, like
Yeah.
a bit of gloss varnish here and there, a bit of
Yeah.
satin here and there, something to
definitely, yeah.
like the meat should all be really like juicy and glossy, and
Yeah.
her face and her
Yeah.
eyes and her mouth could be glossy. You know,
I'm gonna-
kind of thing.
Mold line.
I'm gonna put in for. Bloody hell. I'm gonna say commended this year.
Yeah.
Just, I think I can't give it a bronze, like just because the black is just black,
It's very
the hair
flat,
is
isn't it?
just
Yeah.
violet or something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's nothing there. I like the skin, the meat, all this meal looks really nice.
Yeah.
Stylistically, it
But,
connects,
yeah.
but yeah.
This has to have more contrast,
I agree.
especially at this
Yeah.
scale.
I mean, I think this might be a stylistic thing with this type of kit.
Maybe.
Almost.
Yeah.
Because you see these quite a lot. They're painted
Yeah.
flat colours.
Even so, like there still has to be some variation.
Yeah.
I think in that case, like, have a wash or something to
Yes.
delineate the elements of the hair, right?
And like going for pure anime style, you'll have those blocky highlights and those
Yeah.
blocks.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Like the really sharp highlights across the front of the fringe.
I think also
Style.
if it's
Yeah.
purely stylistic and that's the way it's meant to be, then the skin should be dead flat as well. And it's not. There is a bit of variation in the skin. So I think that's, let's go commend on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad to put it down. It's very stressful.
It's quite heavy, isn't it? That's it for this category.
That's
I
it for the
think,
category?
isn't it? For the
Yeah.
category?
So what did we just say? Bronze? And
That
then
one we
gold, we
Gold
initially
for,
said.
and gold for this one. Yeah.
So we have no silver.
Well, we're going to have a look.
Yeah.
And revise.
Gonna take a break.
Okay, short break again to move to the next category, and then we'll be back for large figure and busts.
You're running the show.
That's the next
I don't
in the
know
order.
anything about it.
Whatever we come
Order
back.
there it is.
That's all we'll do.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Large
Okay.
figures next.
Do mic off, Storm?
You doing good?
Yeah. Another category to go.
Good.
Alright.
Great work.
Sweet.
I just realised I can just do this and it'll also work fine. Hello everyone, it's Big Dano. Feel free to ask any questions you may have about the process of judging and the why we've done things. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll sort of speak briefly about this process from our side of things. So the first year I did this, we had 110 entries, and there was only one category, and it took us about an hour and a half. And I thought that'd be fun to stream, so we live streamed it, and it was two judges. It was myself and Sebastian Archer. So that was our beginning, and the feedback we got from it was great, and the experience that those people had. Hello, Benny. Let me spin this way. And the so the experience that people had when they were watching the stream was one that they hadn't really had much experience with, which was, getting some feedback about why their model didn't succeed, and that's super important. Yes, absolutely, the videos will be available to watch afterwards. Once I get home from Canberra, I will cut together the stream, editing out all of the dead space, and we will have it up on YouTube for you to watch. We've got some great stuff coming up too over the next couple of days. So Bunny and I host a Stream's Choice. So we'll have our top 10 models picked by the Masters entrants for Stream's Choice, and the stream will select the winner of that category, which is fun. We've also got a special painting segment with Dave Colwell on textures, which will be amazing as well to watch. And then we'll have us, Ben and Bunny, roaming around the grounds with Rat and Roach, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's me and Andy.
Yeah. So
I'm not part of that.
I don't want to be a part of that either.
Even me. Lunch on the ground is great.
Yeah, but we could probably do some of that now while we're waiting for these guys. But yeah, look, it started out very, very manageable, right? So one stream for an hour and a half with two guys, and it's now turned into 2 days, 6 judges, 7 or 8 hours of judging. So it's a lot more challenging now than it ever was, and it's only going to continue to get more challenging. So I think the lens that I'm taking on this is not to get every model on stream. It's not to give everyone feedback online. It is to give people an insight into the judging process. It is to give everyone an example of what we're looking for when we're talking about judging and the why we're doing things. And hopefully, giving those people that are in the medals, a nice little bit of motivation to see their model on stream and be talked about. It's, there's also people that won't get their models on stream, and that's something that we wish we could change. But from a pure logistical perspective, some people have to miss out because there's just too many entries.
Yeah, and well, it keeps getting bigger every year as well. Like we're over 300 entries this year now. There was 290 last year, and that was a struggle. So it's just continually getting bigger and bigger. So it just makes sense.
We could potentially even hit 400 tomorrow because there's a few people who haven't turned up that we know are coming that haven't pre-registered. So yeah, so we're expecting maybe to hit 400, which would be the largest miniature competition in Australia for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it is a good problem to have, and we're pretty proud of what we've achieved and what we've delivered. For us, our mission statement, as I said at the start, to be the premier miniature painting event in the country that helps build the community. So this stream serves that second purpose, right? We're doing this because we want to give people in our community some insight and some experience like they're here. So we'll continue to refine what this stream looks like, and if it fits the bill for what we want. Jared still paid his money, mate, so I don't care if his models aren't here. It's actually better that they're not here. It just means we have less models to carry, and he's still paid us.
And he would have packed like 20 models, so yeah, it's all right. We got the money out of him.
We got his cash, and we don't have to deal with his crap. It's the best outcome. So yeah, happy to field any questions now. We've got over 100 people watching, so if you want to ask questions about this process, I'll just switch over to the judging. So they are still judging. You can see that table's filling up now.
Can I have a refund? No.
No refunds, Jared. Unfortunately for you, mate. No refunds.
If you show up, you still got 2 days.
Yeah, you can still turn up tomorrow, mate. 2 o'clock's cut off, so you still got time. So as you can see, we've still got our judges going through these 2 categories that we're looking at right now, which is large figure and bust, and then single figure are the 2 most weighty categories. And this process is quite demanding because this cut is about getting the ones that we're going to separate into medals. So this one needs to take time, and the fun part when we're looking at the models and hearing from the judges is great, but this is the one that actually matters. So I really enjoyed the carpet on the feet. This is an ongoing tradition now where I don't wear shoes around the weekend, and most people think I'm crazy.
Oh, I've got so many photos of your feet.
But Bunny has been taking photos of my feet this whole time.
Yeah.
So if you want any photos of Deno's feet, hit me up, PayPal me $5 and I'll send you a photo.
I'll sign them as well. Yes, so any other questions, we're happy to field it. Great work from Sebastian running the moderation of our stream. It's going to be a long day for that friend, but
Good job, Seb. Good job.
well done, mate. Only 2 days to go, champion. Enjoy that. I don't give it for free, mate. People are actually giving me money by watching this stream. It's called advertising revenue.
Run ads, right? Just spam them, run ads.
Right now.
Yeah, look, CSPO, it's great for people to get feedback, and it's great to
It does, thank you.
it's good opportunity for people to have insights into some amazing painters' methodologies and thought processes, and it's great to have some insights from different people as well. Usually you get me, Bucks, and that's great. Bucks is a great painter. I'm all right, but I used to be all right anyway. haven't done anything for a while, but yeah, we've got 3 new judges now, and we've got 2 new judges tomorrow that are going to have some amazing insights that we haven't had before, and hearing people's perspectives will help you have a different lens on your own. So it's great. Ben's about to post a video on the socials on how to get into the Crimson Brush. So it's about 5 hours too late, maybe 7 hours. But
Facebook and day 2.
Yeah.
Facebook sucks.
Apparently Facebook sucks. Ben's got to say.
Instagram done.
Instagram, boom. This is filling up very quickly. Look at this table.
This is going to be.
So this category, I reckon, probably had tentatively about 80 entries, maybe. You reckon?
Yeah.
A lot of entries in this category.
This category was probably the most popular for standard, along with single figure. It's tough to tell between the 2, but yeah, they were the big hitters.
Yeah. Jared, that's a really good question, mate, and it's one that deserves a little bit of time to answer. Let me come back to your question. I will answer that in a second. CSPO Twitches, guess what? Tomorrow from 10 o'clock, all 3 judges will be available. We will have a table for judges' feedback where the judges will be hanging out and people will be able to ask them questions about their models. So, yes, if you didn't get feedback on stream, you will be able to come and speak to the judges in person, ask whatever you want. We have a dedicated table and a time slot of about an hour for that setup. So, assuming their judges are open to that, which they should be because I asked them to.
It's their job.
Yeah. All right, Jared, let's answer your question because it's a really good one. I don't like categories. I really don't like categories. I was against categories for standard. And we'll
I mean, it was a trial this year.
everything we do is a trial. Everything we do is we test it and prove it. It's one of the methodologies I use at work. Test and prove, test and prove. So if this works and people prefer it, great, then we'll continue it. I'm against categories because I think a good painted model is a good painted model. That's it. I don't need you to tell me if it's a unit of models or... Sure, you have different lenses on things. Like if you are looking at a unit of 3 models versus 1 model, you need to have painted all 3 of those models to the same standard. But ultimately, it's the painting that matters. So separating into categories doesn't really do anything, I don't think. But that's my perspective.
I think what we were going for was easier for the judges. So, for instance, when they were judging units, they were in the mindset of judging a unit rather than judging like a large scale, like going from a large scale to then a miniature to then a unit. Sort of gives you a little bit of whiplash. So I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasonings. But I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure that was one of the reasons.
Yeah, there's. I get the other side of the lens, right? I understand why people like categories. It's also, a little bit more intuitive for people that are entering maybe for the first time. They're like, well, what do I enter? What do you mean I can enter whatever I want? That doesn't make sense to me. So give them categories, give them structure. And often my perspectives comes from the opposite end of the thing where I've already attended overseas events. So I already know what happens over there. I don't need that much structure, but other people at the opposite end, their first time, they do need that structure. So
I think that's why we kept it in standard, is for those types of people as well.
So will we put categories into Masters? As I just said, I don't know that is something that benefits those entrants. So maybe not. My preference would be not, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, we'll see how we go. The most important thing for us is we will get feedback from the community, and we will see what the community wants, what they feel is most necessary, and then I will disregard that and do what I want.
Crimson Brush, we do what we want.
No, I do. We get a lot of feedback, right? And one of the absolute truisms of life is you can't please everyone all of the time. Okay, so it's best not to try. It's best not to try and do what everyone wants because you end up pleasing no one. So
you just end up overworked, overstressed, and
so
someone will be unhappy regardless.
We will take back all that feedback, put it into a melting pot, and work out what we think is the most worthwhile for the most amount of people. And that is always, we're always doing things that we believe was for the benefit of the community. Tomorrow, the judging will be available. The judges will be available at 10 a.m. And that will be in the main room. If you're here, if you want to have a chat, it will not be done online. Sorry. We will probably grab the judges for an interview tomorrow. We've done that most years to talk to them about the experience and how they felt about it. And then they'll have a time to talk about to people as well. It's good point, Shorty Paint Studios. Yeah, categories does help. The stream goes tomorrow from 10 a.m. until we finish judging, probably 5 p.m. We'll probably have a few sections tomorrow showing off some of the Masters categories. So we only showed off Standard today. Tomorrow we'll grab some Masters models and show them off, which is exciting. It's good. Did stream go down? It did go down. Lots of drop frames there.
Well, that's gone up since last.
Yeah. We're working off phone Wi-Fi. We did the same last year, but it worked a lot better. So
Yeah.
I'm going to blame Mossy's phone this year.
See, I'm on Telstra, so we're not gonna.
You're on Telstra.
Yeah, we're not gonna get anything from me.
Great question, Jared. Thank you for some wonderful, insightful questions. Here are the awards for this year. Bunny can hold the microphone while I pull these out. We have, as always, our Veiled Lamp Award, and that is selected by Sebastian Archer. That looks shit
That
house.
looks so good.
Great quality stuff. Veiled Lamp, Sebastian Archer Award for the greatest painted veiled lamp model. So Jared would have entered that and would have won, but does not. We have our Stream Choice Award. It's great quality stuff happening here, Dano. That's the one we already talked about.
They can just squint. It's all right.
We've got a Juniors Award this year.
We've had so many junior entries. I'm really happy to see that.
Last year we had none.
Really? I think
And
we've
so-
got
We've got about 12 this year, which is great. I
yeah,
love
like from like
Juniors.
three or four different entrants as well. So it's really good to see people coming through.
Yeah, Wes will win that one. This is the Big Dano Award for most entries. This is a bit of a gag that goes back a long time.
Didn't it used to be a piece of cardboard?
It used to be a piece of cardboard with some wax shit on it, and it looked absolutely tragic, but yeah.
This is a new one.
I only printed one of these, which is a mistake from me. This says Best of Show Contender. I was supposed to print 3 or 4 of them, but I printed one. So if anyone gets this, well done.
Pass it around.
You can share it.
Quarter
Each of it have a bit of time and then bring it back for next year. And this one I printed one time and I was supposed to print none because I got a trophy. So there we go. This one, Best of Standard. So they'll get a trophy and this certificate that maybe they can give to someone else as well. No lamination, mate. I'm Porby. Not enough feet pick selling.
Like I said, hit me up.
All right, where are we at with these guys? Look at this stand. Goodness me.
Almost done. Like the last 20 or
Let me actually give you a better lens. I think I've got a better shot of that. That is the
Hey,
table.
yo, there it is.
How good is that?
You can make the other.
Got cameras everywhere, mate.
Crypt Shadow says you can make the others out of cardboard.
I could make more out of cardboard.
Here's a Best in Show Contender award of cardboard.
No, so my award, I made a point of just entering lots of models one year, and I said to Meg, because I only won a couple of models, the person who was organising, this is 10 years ago now, so what award do I get for winning the most entries? And she said, you don't get an award. I said, well, there should be a special award for me. She said, all right, we'll give you the Trent Dennison Award for most entries. And I said, thank you very much. And then at the actual awards ceremony, she came along and she had a piece of rubbish cardboard that she'd written Trent Dennison Award for most entries on, and she gave it to me at the awards ceremony. So, of course, I was very enthusiastic about that and received it. And I then brought that bit of cardboard back next year, which I won next year as well. So she gave it back to me at the awards ceremony another time. So it became a running gag, and I kept that cardboard for a long time, but we lost it a few years ago. So now we just do a real actual proper entry. And if I can be completely honest, this is just a money-hungry entry for me. This is just a pure money grab. Because if I get everyone trying to compete for this award, that's just more cash for me, right? So it's a good award for everyone, but mostly me.
So what if someone said dinner napkin awards?
Dinner napkins could be a go, yeah. We could go for dinner napkins.
How many individual entrants so far do we know?
I don't have a count on that, Jared. So what was last year? We were up to 90 last year, I think, weren't we? 90
88.
individual? 88, yeah.
It was 88, because I remember we doubled the previous year, which was 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer on that. We'll find out tomorrow when it's all said and done. But I would hazard a guess, I've seen a lot of people.
I've seen a lot of new people, a lot of new pieces that I don't recognise in both categories, actually.
yeah.
But Standard has definitely grown.
Standard is massive. Yeah.
Standard's massive this year.
There's probably because we've got 300 entries. There's probably 75 masters.
There's more than 3, so
Yeah.
that's...
Yeah. Well done, CSB Twitchers. We're happy for you.
We love new entrants.
Hopefully you were also competing for the Trent Dennison Award for most entries, because we need that cash.
Get your toes out now.
No, look, I joke about the money, but we aren't looking to make a profit. This is not us trying to make money. I'm not trying to be funny there. We've got a prize pool that's outrageous this year.
Huge prize pool.
And everything that we do all goes back into the event to making it better and support the community more. But one of the challenges that we have in an event this size, and I'll speak sort of quite openly about this, I've done it most of the time, we have a real challenge in making an event like this sustainable.
Yeah.
The costs involved in running an event like this, we ran at a loss for the first 3 years of the event. And when I say we, I mean I ran at a loss. I'm the one who pays for everything.
I just lost time.
Everyone else just loses a bit of time. I'm the one who pockets the cold hard cash, and that's okay. That's something that I'm comfortable with doing because of the passion that I have for supporting the community and making it a better place to be in. But at some point in the future, I will not be running this event. And it would be great to be able to hand that over to someone else and say, here is an event that will not cost you $1,000 to run. That'd be great. I'd love that. No, you're right, Jared. We're not in it for the money. We're in it for the passion. But yeah, there has to be a sustainability piece and a lens towards the future of what this event looks like.
Yeah, just trying to future-proof things and
yeah.
work towards that.
Yeah, so we are trying to grow entries because we want to grow the scene. We're not just talking about cash, but the more people we have, the more sustainable the event is, which is ultimately a great goal. So
I mean, we sold double T-shirts as well this year, which was great. We had an online exclusive black version and we had an event exclusive white version. And yeah, we sold double than what we did last year, and all of that comes straight back into the event as well.
Does.
Yeah.
It does. So Crypt Shadow, we actually did do classes the first few years. And what happened is we've just grown too big. We're in one room. Here's the one room. This is the one room where everything used to run. We used to have our lounge, we used to have our model display, and we used to have vendors.
Yeah.
And in the first few years, we actually had classes in this same room as well. And what ended up happening was there's just not enough room for everything. So we secured a second room this year, and I haven't got a camera in there, but there is actually a projector running this stream in that room. So hopefully those people are enjoying the stream. But that room does have the capacity for us to run classes, does have the capacity for us to do some more events. We do actually have a little painting event going to happen probably tomorrow that's being run in that room. But yeah, it's a space issue that we have. So
We're just rapidly growing and outgrowing the spaces really that we occupy.
And this thing that we're doing right now, this stream, this takes up a big chunk of our space. But again, we think it's worthwhile. So I think it's worthwhile. Bats Paints, how can you support CB monetarily or otherwise? Great question. You cannot buy shirts anymore on the website, can you?
I don't believe so. The shirts for the black shirts they get turned off a day before. But if you are able to be at the event, purchasing any of our T-shirts and all that fun stuff does go immediately back into here, and of course obviously more model entrants and all that type of stuff. We haven't really got a way to do it.
You can just send me money on PayPal if you want, but
donate it.
Donate money on
Donate
PayPal.
Money.
I actually think on my Twitch I've got a donate button. Yeah.
Just put in the labels or something crimson.
Yeah, put in crimson here if you want. Hey, look, we're not. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. If you want to, great, but you do not need to do that. Not in any capacity whatsoever.
But even just viewing the stream really helps supporting us. If you share it on your socials and stuff like that, that's a really big help for us. The more people we can reach.
Yes.
The bigger we can get.
When am I finishing Big Dire? Good question, Jared. I was hoping that this weekend would spark a fire and give us some enthusiasm. I am feeling pretty excited about painting, but We'll see. I've got a lot of Kingdom Death models that I'm painting at the moment, which are absolutely glorious.
Yep.
Love Kingdom Death. We've got a Kingdom Death model entered in Standard.
Oh, did we?
A big Atlas, yeah. I haven't seen
Love
too many of
that.
the girls, but yeah, Atlas was entered, which is great. Gold Brick, not sure. We'll find out soon. No stress, see. Have fun. Just let us know if you need some more water or anything, all right? And if you just want to take a break to go to the bathroom or anything, just let us know. We'll sort it out.
We'll supply a bucket.
Crypt Shadow. Painting skin is just one of the most rewarding things
It's
you
one
can
of my
possibly
favourite
do.
things to paint.
What we might do is we might send Bunny out into the grounds and see if she can grab someone. Maybe grab Jazzy, she's just over there, and talk to her about the Brisbane Display Painters Guild.
I don't know who you're pointing at.
Jazzy, Jasmine, stand right there for a second, okay? Bunny's going to come say hello. You'll see her.
No, hang on. Okay, I'm coming over. What am I talking about?
Brisbane Display Painters Guild.
Beautiful. Hello. Welcome to On Stream. Where's the camera?
I don't think it's coming yet.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
Stand in front of that thing.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Yeah. Welcome.
Anything,
We're
or
one
am
of
I just
the.
on stream.
You are on stream, so say hello. This here is Jasmine. You are the Brisbane Display Painters Guild, correct?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So Brisbane Display Painters Guild, we started in about January-ish last year.
Yep.
There's quite a few of us here today. Obviously, Seona and myself, Coulter, who are all from it. We've got a really good gang of people who are just really enthusiastic about painting, which is really awesome. Our personal motto is just sort of anyone who is interested in painting and wants to get better at painting in Brisbane. We switch between Irresistible Force and the Dice Spot at the moment, so north side, south side Brisbane.
Yeah.
So it's just a really cool group of people, and it's a lot of fun.
Beautiful. How did you guys sort of start up this group?
There was obviously a couple of groups like this popping up around Australia.
Yeah.
And people like Trent and Seona had sort of had conversations with those. And a member of ours called Ollie, who eventually was the person who was able to put together a sort of space and a group of people, and he really got it off the ground, and then there's been quite a few of us sort of keeping it going ever since.
Do you guys have like a big part in Anvil and
Yes.
Yeah?
So the Anvil is fully run pretty much by Zach, who did an amazing job. I know he's very, very busy at the moment with a lot of stuff.
Hi guys, we're interviewing. There's a camera. Wave. Yes, tell us about Anvil.
No,
you're fine.
Zach did a lot of work to get it up and off the ground, and we sort of liaised with him a little bit.
Yeah.
To have a bit of a chat about it and to sort of give support, but at the end of the day it was pretty much like he just worked so hard, and then like there was a massive turnout from both people in and outside the guild. Like there's some people there who painted extraordinary pieces and I have no clue who they are, and I want to know.
And so if you are around the Brisbane area, honestly reach out to Jasmine, Seona, join the guild. Honestly, the guilds have been really great for just building confidence, making friends in the space and all that type of stuff. So whereabouts
I'm always here to help new painters.
Whereabouts can we find these guilds?
The biggest ones are Instagram and Discord for most of us. So we have an Instagram. If you just search Brisbane Display Painters Guild, that has a link. It has our Discord. We post all of our details for our meetups on both, but Discord's a little bit better because it has the feedback channels and the hobby help and everything that you need.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, we're going to go back. We're going to start judging.
Yep.
But thank you so much for your time. Yay, here we come. Here come Bunny.
Sorry, what was
Like,
that?
the colours are interesting. Like the saturated shadows are a nice touch, but overall execution.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Let's just chuck it on this side. Okay, and then we got little
streaming
orc.
again.
Hey, look at him. Nice, I like the metals, I like the face.
Yeah, I think it's quite well
It's nicely
painted.
rendered.
Yeah.
Yep, there's some good
There's a lot
weathering
of
in the
nice
rust and
detail
everything.
in the skin, a lot of nice texture in the skin.
Yep.
Massively let down by its face.
Yes, yeah, definitely. But it's quite a good handling of true metallics as well.
Yes.
So we've seen a fair bit of like, I've got some true metallic, and now there's a wash on it possibly.
Yeah.
And that's it. This
yeah,
is a bit of a higher
This is actually
level than
they've gone
that.
to the trouble of actually doing true
These
metallic.
bits are quite shaded. Then we have the real highlight on the curvature of the shoulder.
It's not like an over touch of verdigris as well. They haven't like drowned it out.
Yeah, it's not just green.
But there's definitely much stronger pieces here. So maybe this is a bronze.
Yes.
Let's just say
Yep.
candid or cut. Bronze.
Let's talk about this
I actually do
guy.
think that if we cut stuff, it's probably better than so
Yeah,
I don't know.
but also creative.
Do you want to zoom your camera out a little bit there? Get him in.
Actually, I think it's not bad.
Pretty good view.
Some stuff looks so good on the
So good,
camera,
yeah.
and I'm like, this is why everyone on stream probably thinks judges are insane.
I think it's because you put it against the black background and then
Yes,
all you
you
can
have the
see is the
contrast.
figure and you get that
Yeah,
nice
exactly.
contrast. Yeah. I really like this one.
Actually, I would say it's quite good.
Yeah. I like
The camera doesn't work.
Yeah, compared to the last one we looked at like this, the treatment of this frame is much better. It's much less of a big feature than if it was
It's
bigger.
definitely
I like
more
the
thought
size.
about,
It's more
like,
appropriate.
It's nice and subtle. It's got a slight greenish hue that matches
Yes.
the palette of the piece, actually. The skin also has a slight greenish hue to it.
The colour palette also looks really cohesive and nice.
Yep.
Better thought to the composition as a whole, including the frame.
Yeah.
Where the previous one just like drowned it out. You know,
There was too much frame for the
like the painter thought, I want to put this in a frame. Any frame will do.
I think it's quite nice to see somebody painting a cold gold.
Yes.
Because you know, like, especially if you're a newer painter, often you go like, wow, gold's yellow, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just going to make it really yellow. But this actually really
And
reads
it's
as
quite
gold.
hard to do too.
It's trickier,
Step
for sure.
away from the yellow.
Yeah. This really, I think, reads as gold very nicely.
Yeah.
It's well highlighted. Everything is chosen pretty well.
I put this in a high silver to gold.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go on that transition
Yep.
line then.
Yep.
We'll make it our fictional transition line for the moment, and we'll move it to the slightly more real one in this way.
That's slightly more real.
Yeah.
Well, only slightly.
It's a piece of duct tape. I mean, you
We need
know,
another table.
semi-official. Go slightly more zoom for this one. Just to get in.
We're in focus.
Yeah, that's pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on the upper end somewhere.
Yeah, I like
Yep.
the colour palette a lot.
Yep.
With a little pop of red in that. Bandana.
I think I would rate
Doesn't
this as being
overwhelm
better
it.
than this. This is the stronger. Yes. The cohesiveness of the color is much nicer.
I could put this in silver.
Yeah. This is certainly not bad.
It's
Give me your thoughts.
some of the other stuff we've seen. I think is definitely better. And like some of the stuff is also better than that. I feel like this, the finish of the skin, the finish of the metallics, they are, it's a little rough. Again, like we said before, the idea is there, the execution just kind of needs a bit of tinkering.
Yeah.
The base is not fantastic. I feel like that brings it down a little. If we're putting that one in the frame at silver, and seeing this one could be sitting at a bronze, and like between these two, I'd say they're a similar execution of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't think that's crazy, yeah. I feel that this is a little bit better. I don't think it's
I agree.
entirely in a different universe.
Yeah. I'd say it's in the middle.
I mean, I'll say, like, this person is definitely better at blending
Yes.
than this person, for sure. That's exactly so. I mean, on the camera, you'd never know. Take our word for it. This one is definitely smoother.
I prefer in silver.
Out of bronze here.
Yeah.
I think that very well could be a gold. That's
Yeah,
very
I think
nice.
so.
I like it. Okay. That's somewhat yardstick-ish.
Yeah. I think the blending on this one is really nice. Very smooth, very clean.
Yeah.
They've gone to a lot of trouble to make sure there's no history paint anywhere. It's quite difficult on that scale model.
The back of it's actually painted.
Yeah.
Painted fairly similarly to the front as well.
Yeah.
Didn't even check. Yep.
Yeah, she's painted.
Painted. I think this and this are not dissimilar
No, I'd put them.
in terms of the skill of the painter.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest, even stylistically, they're fairly similar.
They are, yeah.
A little bit different. Okay. Similar. Let's go with that.
Let's talk about this guy.
Yep, this is an interesting one.
Yes. He's very striking colour scheme wise.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting.
Transition on the light here
Yeah.
is good.
The transition is good, but this is definitely problematic because
Yeah.
there just is not an origin for this light. Like you can't,
Yeah,
looking at
where's
it, you
the
can't
light
really
coming
work
from?
out where this originates from. It also sort of inexplicably gets stronger and more intense around this abdominal area.
Yeah. And it feels like the light's coming from here, right? When you look
Yeah,
at where the
it's
highlight
angled
is on
like
his
that.
but
it
it's
doesn't
also
go
in
anywhere.
here, yeah.
Yeah. I think if there was a flame or something,
Yes,
something
yeah.
down there that was a bit more obvious.
And there's nothing wrong with like airbrushing as a thing, but do a little bit more to it.
Yeah, it needs a little
Especially
touch
like
up.
on the back.
It's not a perfect
Yeah.
system, yeah.
On the
Yeah.
back, you can see like it's just been airbrushed. It looks like once,
Yeah.
with one colour, and nothing much else has been done.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's kind of just sitting in that space.
How does this compare to this?
I put him in commended. I feel commended.
So I'll tell you what, I think this is certainly a better piece than this. Definitely. So I think maybe this goes into a cut. This is either a commend or a bronze. Yeah, I think this is not much worse handled than this.
No.
Or much better, actually.
This
It's tricky to
skin-
keep perspective, you know, because they all have issues.
Yeah, the skin that's in a normal light looks fantastic.
Yeah. This is an interesting way of painting skin as well, which I do want to reward.
Yeah.
Because it looks like skin. It's
Yeah.
very yellowy, kind of.
I also quite enjoy the idea behind the composition of this one too. He's just slaying these enormous beasts. And
Yes, there's definitely a narrative
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Make it make sense though.
Yeah, I don't know what the source for this is, right? So if it's supposed to be this, and I'm not sure what this actually is,
Is it his like
Giblet?
viscera?
I can't work
Glowing
it out.
blood?
Dragon giblet?
I looked at this for a good few minutes back over at the stands, and
Generic dragon.
Dragon blood. Dragon blood.
Yeah. Dragon's blood, yes, magic.
whatever it is, if that's the source of the light, it needs to be far more intense.
Yes.
I mean,
Agreed.
it's nowhere near enough difference between the object the light is cast onto and the origin of the light.
Especially to give that much saturation.
This
on
feels
the
like
outs.
he's being cast. Yeah, the light is casting onto it. It's like what?
And
What
then
is the light?
any light that's been cast from something, any light, needs to fall off in both intensity and saturation as it recedes away from the source. This, I mean, maybe the value is lower as it gets away, but definitely the saturation
Yes,
goes up when
it
it gets
does,
here.
yeah.
It looks odd, like
Yeah.
it catches the eye strangely.
Yeah.
And probably not enough is happening here as well, actually. It's very simplistic. I think if this is a bronze, this is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy for that.
I mean, this is good. Okay. Got something like that. Oh yeah, did we say? I feel like we should emphasize if we're gonna fix this.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah, I think sand your plinth with like 360 grit or something. 'Cause this is probably peeling off because the plinth is just like mega smooth cast
Give us some
plastic and the
plastic
paint doesn't hold.
primer as well.
Yeah, do something with that because that is chipped real easily. And the fact that it's fluorescent green,
Yeah.
it's like the worst color to chip into. Okay. I'll frame this one. It looks good on camera
Yeah, it
again.
does. Yeah, it really does.
The gold, I think, is just metallic gold. There's not a huge amount happening there.
I'd like to see more highlighting on his collar. Like if you've got light coming from here, there might be a little bit more highlight on the edge of his collar there.
Yeah.
There is a nice value shift. So, like painting red is
Yeah.
somewhat
The
difficult.
red I really like.
But it looks.
And I like the difference in finish. Like his leather hat is a different finish to his coat. And leather buckle is again.
There's definitely an understanding of the concept of contrast in
Yeah,
finish.
definitely.
For sure.
I'd put him in. I don't put him in silver.
Really?
Compare him there, I would put him in silver.
Maybe you've got a point. But if this is silver, these two are silver. I think this is a weaker piece than.
Shall we put them in between bronze and silver then?
Yeah, okay, borderline, and then
Yep.
that. So we're pretty happy there. I think this is probably not dissimilar to this.
I like this piece just for the subtlety of the different colours that are there.
Yeah, great.
I think in the lighting scheme that he's got, it works really, really well.
Yep.
It's just, it needs more attention. If you're going to have that kind of darker scheme, make sure that you're focusing the light somewhere. The light that is there.
Yeah. I think in terms of an understanding of directional lighting, this would be one of the stronger examples of it in the field
nice.
here. Because it actually, I mean, it really looks quite good. There's a nice
Yeah,
gentle
you can-
drop off on the side here. And it fits the atmosphere of the figure. It's not this creepy elf with this cast light.
And if you have a look at him from this angle, which is where the light is actually coming from,
Yes.
you can sort of see, where am I? You can sort of see like
Yeah.
what is in light is properly lit. Like the highlights fall across his body and across his head where they should as well.
I mean, we're going to say this a lot, but I mean, actually, unless we say this piece has enough contrast, I think I would just take it as read that every single piece that we look at, one of our pieces of feedback would be that it needs more contrast. It's certainly true of both of these. It's true of everything else that we just looked at.
I think in terms of presenting the model as well, I think the face on like this, that's how we see it.
Yeah.
I think that's a stronger angle.
Yes.
Yeah.
If he's slightly
I'd
turned
probably
to one
angle
side.
him on the
Oh, yeah.
So it definitely is something to be said for putting your models on plinths. The orientation of it is really important as well.
Yeah, I think this is a very good piece of feedback to offer people, like, particularly with busts, is the exact orientation of the bust is really important for the composition. So, yeah, think really carefully about it and take your lighting into account. So I do agree, like, this is okay, and then if we just slightly tilt it, there's a bit more kind of mood to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, I think, long story short, I think they're not too dissimilar. Let's say borderline, yeah. This is nice, so I'd rate this fairly highly.
It's smooth, the colours bounce off each other very, very nicely.
Yep.
The focus of the light towards the top and towards the face is done really, really well.
Yep.
As like the saturation drops off as it goes down.
Yep.
The magenta smoke around the base works really well as a frame for the nice pillowy tones where it all joins at the top.
Yep. I think this might be one where the global level of contrast is actually alright.
Yeah.
Quite good. But
Colour
again,
scheme
like,
is very striking.
yeah, again, on the local level, like, there's just not that much separation between a lot of these elements. I feel like a light edge along these parts would help it quite a bit.
And there's been some
Definitely
shading going
shading.
on in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, there's a line shade there for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I think that makes this a good piece. It's like there is a clear delineation between the elements. I think it could be improved. But if you look at like a lot of the entries in the standard category, there's a lot of parts that just kind of blend together, right? Like, there's not much separation between this bandana and his hair.
Yeah, it needs to be a little more emphasis on some black line.
I think the only separation we're getting is the light because there's an edge, right? So that would always be something to improve. Is this one a good example? Yeah, I think so.
He's got some reasonable
Like, so you see,
lining going on, yeah.
so this is knotted, right, this thing, but it's quite hard to understand what the knot is doing because there's not much delineation between the strips of the fabric, you know? So that kind of thing is why, I mean, I guess it's black, I wouldn't suggest always using black, but anyway, that's why contrast between elements is important, because it just helps the viewer to understand what each piece is doing, what's underneath what, what's over what, and how they interact.
Improve the readability of the model.
Yeah, the readability, yeah, exactly. That's precisely the term. Okay.
So what do you think of this one? I think
Somewhere up this way.
high end, yeah.
I think these are, they don't look crazy next to each other. It's something like that.
I haven't seen them still in ages.
Haven't seen what?
Still in ages.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Now, great sponsors.
It's been out for a while. Yeah, it's an yeah. It's been out for a while, right?
Yes, it was one of their first.
One of their older figures, yeah.
really like this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he's
This is great.
too high end.
Yep.
Pretty high end for me. The treatment of the gold on his shoulder looks really good. His silver looks really great.
Yep.
Piggy's got some little spots on him, which is a nice touch, I think.
Actually, I also want to say just to the people on the stream, what we're going to end up doing naturally is kind of offering like relative feedback, you know? So in sometimes we might actually end up being more critical of a piece that is better, because there's just more to say
Yes.
about it, right? Like if you imagine yourself judging a miniature and the paint is just all over the paint, nothing's even orderly, like what are you going to say other than try painting in the lines?
Yeah.
But if you're looking at something that is a far more sophisticated piece, often there's a lot more to think about.
Yeah, if you spent 36 hours painting one element, but only 1 hour painting another, it stands out like a sore thumb.
So if we
really.
do end up going on about your piece pages, it doesn't necessarily mean that
It's
that's a
bad.
negative thing.
No.
It might be complimentary.
Yeah.
Yep. All that brings me to the topic of I'm a huge hater of steel that doesn't have enough colour in it, and I feel like this is a good example of that.
Some sunny yellows from the light skylight.
Some balance of the environment
Some
as well.
bounce.
They're in.
I mean,
There's quite a lot
100%.
of blue in it.
Yeah, this
which
is
makes
definitely
sense.
not the worst example of this that I've seen. There's
Yeah.
way worse. There's green here, kind of coming from the lower end. That's really nice. It's like a representation of a natural environment in some extent. There's a bit of blue from the top. That's the sky. I think definitely yellow, just peripheral to these main highlights. I would try that for sure. Just a bit more colour, because it does look too white, right? You
Yeah,
look at
well,
it
that's
and
the
you're
problem with silver non-metallic is
Yeah.
that it can just look
yeah.
grey.
It's hard to do.
Yeah,
Like, it's
it
not
is
easy.
hard, yeah. That's it. This person's
Pushing the
done
shadows
it
a bit
quite well.
darker as well.
And probably the same with the gold. So the gold is too just yellow, and the silver is too grey. Both of those things would be good areas for improvement. Try some violet in the gold for the shadows. That's a good colour to use.
In terms of like the level of contrast between the highlights and the shadows of the non-metallic, it kind of like I'm looking at the whatever the chest fabric is. It's done to the same level, so it's hard to
actually, that's a good point.
delineate what is metallic and what is leather or what that material is.
And I think you got a great point. This shadow is really not dissimilar to this in value.
So everything's been brought up
Yeah.
and down to the same level, and it's
Yeah.
hard to distinguish what material it's supposed to be.
Yes, and whoever painted this, you've made your own life slightly more difficult by making the fabric like the same colour as the gold.
Yeah, and like,
So
yeah.
it means you really have to lean on some kind of other contrast, right? Either texture or value to separate these two materials. And I don't think it's super successful. It's not entirely unsuccessful.
It's
I think
pretty
not a-
successful,
Still looks
but
great,
Yeah.
definitely some feedback there.
Anyway, this is definitely on the upper end.
I think so
I think
too.
it's somewhere like that.
The freehand on the shield on the back as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
really nice.
So I just want to highlight that.
Oh, this angle is
It's an
lovely. Look at
adorable
this.
design, yeah.
Look at that.
It looks really good on camera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's quite difficult to do N&M on large round materials, and this is a fairly sophisticated handling of it. Like you have all these slightly weird shapes.
Yes.
That's a nice way of doing circular metallic objects. Sort of just forgot about some of these spikes. Just skip that. That's all right. Yep. No, it's good.
All right.
I think the skin is not as good as the metal, so that's a slight subtraction. Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
Nice cartoony style.
Again, looks really good on the camera.
There's some of
I think
these
if
are
we
really,
did
really
this by
photogenic.
video, it would just be gold, gold,
Yeah.
gold, gold. Like, anyway, it's somewhere.
I think if anything up is silver.
Yeah, go that for now.
Just
From the same range.
probably
isn't
similar,
it?
yeah, I think so.
Also from scale 75, expansion
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
This is. I think this is not as good as this thing.
Yeah. I'm
No,
looking
but
at
there's
those-
aspects of this that I really like. Like I really like this sharp, cartoony sort of highlights on this one.
I think that this is just a better version of that. This really feels like it's a still from a cartoon.
Yes,
or a
it
panel
does,
or
yeah.
This one looks like
something,
they tried to do both.
Yes.
Both
Yeah.
styles, like a soft transition on the skin to get a nice realism effect, and then a sharp, reflective highlight as a cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm also
definitely a
just looking at the
stylistic
strings on the
choice.
chest.
Yes, me too. I'm about to say this. And I'll say it again because I think it's one of the simplest things that, I suppose technically one of the simplest things that you can do to improve a figure is just the separation of elements. Like these little things that just blend in with these. with the shirt and with the skin.
It's the
They're
theme
not
of
separated.
today's judging panel.
I think it's always the thing.
Yeah.
And for standard, it probably always will be the thing.
Yeah, cleanliness and readability goes a long way towards
Cleanliness and readability, yeah. And these two side by side are a good example, right? These are much more nicely separated between elements, and it really pays off in how striking the piece is just at an initial glance. Yes, I would say this is
Keep them in,
somewhere in.
yeah, and then putting down in bronze. Bronze do come in.
It is a nice.
Little guy.
Sorry, just a good point. The difference in contrast of the gloss of the leather versus
Oh
the
yeah,
other
yeah,
textures.
I like that. The one thing I would say about glossing your leather is you should try and restrict that gloss to the shadows. Otherwise, it literally just looks really shiny. You know, I don't think it makes it more readable. Also, I don't like
highlight
this.
after your gloss as well.
Yeah, you can do it that way too. I also don't like that the sword is just
Yeah, I
metal.
didn't see that.
You know, like that's just metallic.
Yeah.
Do something with that.
They have tried to do a little bit of like highlighting and like
Oh, the highlighting for sure. It needs shading, I would say.
I think pushing in either direction.
It's got the high values. It kind of needs the low ones. I'm going to try this just to make him a little bit more,
Focused.
well, darker, because he was a bit bright.
Oh yes.
I think when we finish this little set, we'll actually like move them. Yeah, that one you can do. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Bronze?
Yeah, bronze to silver for me. There's
Really?
some things
Okay.
about this that I think are really well done.
Yep. I think this is another one where there's just no lighting to it. That's my
It's
issue.
very ambient
Also,
light.
like what's going on? What's going on in here?
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
It's not painted. Okay.
Not really. But it also doesn't look dark. Like it's sort of.
Yeah, I see. Oh, I see. Yeah, there's some missing,
Yeah.
missing stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see like darker shadows under the rim of his hat, and
Yeah,
I think the
same.
shadowing on the skin is
yeah.
quite nice, and
Yeah.
I like the treatment of his
This-
enormous nose. And
this
yeah,
is
this a little
real
bit-
similar to this, you know? This should be entirely out of
Yeah,
the light,
much
right?
darker
Underneath
under
this
there.
hat.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
the value is very similar to up here.
Yeah.
So that's like
Especially because there is directional lighting, you can see it on his skin,
Yeah.
but it's not
Yeah.
followed through.
that's another kind of global contrast type comment, right? It's like we should have a region of focus, which is like brighter or higher contrast,
Yeah.
whatever, and then it recedes as we head away from that focal point.
Yeah.
This is quite samey all over. I mean, especially like he's got this huge bloody nose.
Yeah,
Like,
he
this
should be
could
casting
use-
quite a shadow there.
This
shouldn't
could
he?
use
Yeah,
some kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
contrast.
Yeah.
The nose is nice.
Yeah, the nose
that
is
is.
well done. It's quite. You should see a doctor about it. Is what I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah,
say.
yeah. It's the camera is so fascinating. Isn't it? I think this looks way better on camera than in person. I think they're actually probably quite similar.
Good camera, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a good camera. This is why your painting always looks so good.
Exactly.
Cheating.
Good sledge.
All right, something. Yeah.
Let's talk about.
Maybe it's yeah.
I mean, do we want to look at these two together?
There's not that much in it.
No,
I think this
I
is
don't
probably
think
slightly bigger.
bronze.
Yeah, put it in bronze. Put it in bronze. Okay. This is very interesting, this one. I like this quite a bit.
Yeah, I think that it's a very striking piece.
Yeah. Just compositionally, like, you look at this and you're like, this is
It's
mad.
nicely done with the base as well. Like it works quite well with the base and
Yeah.
the elements that are.
This is probably one of the better examples in the competition of composition elevating a
Yeah,
piece.
yeah, for sure.
Because technically, I think it's not dissimilar to this space, really. Maybe at the lower end of that. But you just look at it and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, color placement is striking. It works together. It frames it really nicely.
Palette works
I think the
really
nice
well.
punch of blue in the eyes.
Just a little,
Yeah.
little dusting.
Just a
right.
little. And the eyeball in his hat is well painted,
Very nice.
like
Yeah,
little
yeah,
veins, and
Yeah.
it's crazy good.
I think, if anything, it's strange looking at it from behind, like the complete change in like pink to.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's a separate like a thing coming out of it.
Yeah, it's
No,
kind
I
of
know
like
what
a
it is,
little
but
appendage.
But it's so much brighter than the rest of it. especially looking from behind, that if this is the light of the candles and everything, and this is dark, being lit by the eyes, that's much brighter than it really should be.
I think
But
one
it's
thing
still-
I'd like to mention is these candles here, maybe the flames could be a lot brighter.
Yeah, I
Like
think the
they've been
cast light
painted-
doesn't work
yeah,
that well.
Yeah, they've been
Agreed.
painted like yellow, but I think they could be white,
And
honestly.
we're circling back to OSL feedback from earlier, but the value of this light source is maybe it's darker
It's
actually, but
darker.
anyway, it's very similar to the cast light. That doesn't work, right? I think like that's just physics, but kind of artistically speaking, what you want is the eye to be led towards the source of the light.
Yes.
And what's going to achieve that is that it's
It
brighter.
has to be the
and
brightest-
intense,
the brightest
right?
on the piece,
Has a
yeah.
gradient. So that's wonky. I'm also going to absolutely slam the fact that this base is 3 pieces of cork piled on
I was
top of each
gonna
other.
say, yeah.
And that is unmistakable. I mean, I think I could ID that from 100 meters away.
Yeah.
So try to integrate them with texture paste or something. There is a bit of that, clearly. And break up the tops of them, because it's the flat top that absolutely makes
One
it
thing
really
you
obvious.
can do is like build it up however you like. Use texture paste, but also carve out the structures that you want. Like carve down and create that smoother transition between them.
I would recommend this person have a go with some XPS foam as well.
Oh yeah.
Try that type of thing. It's a nicer material to work with than cork.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah.
Because the problem with cork is it just always looks like cork. It's more work than it's worth to make cork not look like cork.
Hashtag cork is cork.
Cork is cork. I like it. This is somewhere.
Yeah, I'd probably use for now. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we do have to remember that this category has a huge number of entries, so we do want to get a decent number of golds out of it. Yeah, let's go a little bit closer again on this one. Yeah, possibly a bronze.
Yeah.
Let's just go with that.
I think of the things that we have cut, better attention to the directional lighting, better attention to the actual shadows and the contrast between those.
I think this is more usage of volumetric highlighting than some of our bronzes, but some of our bronzes. But technically speaking, it's pretty rough. Like this is not a smooth blend at all.
I like the purple of the inside of the collar, and I like the texture on the
The lighting on the shoulder piece also doesn't really make sense to me either. It's sort of just arbitrarily placed there, and like there's
tell you what's
not a lot of
It does
consideration for
kind
the
of
direction
lead
of the
you
light.
to the face.
Yeah,
But I'll tell you
it
what's a
does.
massive tell for what's here. Is this circle here. This circle, all right, that's a highlight. So the light is coming in like this, perpendicular to that spot, and then this highlight doesn't follow the curvature of this plate at all. It just randomly goes off towards
Yeah,
the
that's
face.
what's throwing me off with that one. I
Yeah,
think.
you really have to make sure that these line up. So the highlight has to be, I guess, parallel to the curvature, the plane of curvature.
Yeah.
Is that perpendicular? Perpendicular to the plane of curvature.
Yeah, so
Otherwise
if
it looks
this
off,
is you
right?
read this as a cylinder, it should be
Yeah.
going in that direction. Yeah.
Because this highlight I think is actually okay.
Yeah.
This is not bad.
Yeah,
That's
I think
fine.
you're right. It's this one
It's
that's
just
throwing
this
me
one
off.
that's really, really
Yeah.
well. I'm gonna go bronze.
Yep.
I agree.
Check it in. Always reevaluate. Okay. This is cool. This one.
This guy, he's pretty
Yeah.
big.
I have a suspicion this will look really cool on the camera.
Yeah.
Much like everything else. Yeah, this is neat. I like this one.
He's really nice.
Yeah. Again, I think this is probably a better example of an understanding of global contrast as well. Like this is lots happening here, and then as we get under here, it's much darker.
Yeah, but
and
it's
less
all still
contrasting.
painted and
Still
taken
painted.
care of.
It's
Like,
still
everything
painted,
is,
exactly.
is
Yeah.
been paid attention to here.
Because we definitely will probably get some examples of stuff where you go away. There's an understanding of global contrast, but you go away from that focal point, and it's just like not
Yeah,
painted.
like they haven't
This is not
painted
that.
the back.
Yeah, exactly. Haven't painted the back would be the mean version of it. I really like the subtle greens in the
Oh
stone
yeah,
up
for
here.
sure. I like the highlights. There's
Yep.
there's so
Almost like
much
a
to look
halo
at
or
on
something.
this figure, but I think it's
Yeah.
really really well done.
Yes, it's large. There's a lot to look at, and yet when you look at it initially, visually, I think it feels good to the eye.
It
you
does,
know?
yeah.
It's composed well. I think.
Also, the base is really creative and quite beautifully done
Yep.
as well.
Yeah.
Looks lush. Looks like the lush inside of a like cave, a green cave.
Very
sometimes.
gross.
Yeah.
As far as more critical feedback, I think maybe the face and this are competing a bit as the primary focal point. It's not enough on the face, you know, so more value around here
Yeah.
would help that, because you have this really bright, intense green, it's got a lot of yellow in, it's going to lead the eye, and it's also like brighter or a very similar value to the top of the head.
I think also a little bit more variation in the skin too. Like there's
Yeah,
parts
sure.
that you could
Yep.
like bring up to almost a yellow rather than a white. But,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean that's just a personal sort of preference
Just
for me
push the
almost.
saturation a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
think
But
I-
it's
the
really well done.
mushrooms take a little bit of attention away from the figure because they are quite bright in the scene.
Yeah, they
that's
could be
there.
darkened down a little.
Paying attention to that global lighting, global contrast.
And keeping the focus on the face.
I think I would like to see some violet in the shadows of the skin. So you have this nice purple,
Yeah.
and we could transition
There
down
is a
to
little
cool
here and there. I
violet.
think, like around under here, it's almost
Yeah.
green, isn't it?
It's green,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I would believe there's violet somewhere in this, but it's not evident, like visually, you know? So I think that colder, more violet hue would be really interesting in the shadows on the skin. But I like it, it's very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. Alright. Give us something else.
It's
think it's a bronze to me.
It's quite flat. It definitely
These are,
indicates a nighttime scene, but within that you still need to define and create that sense of.
This is a bit more of a like not painted on the back type thing, right? It's not 100% that, but it's more in that direction.
I mean, you want people to look at the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You do.
I mean, the back is painted, but it's not a huge
Yeah.
focal point.
Yeah.
Love
I mean,
the
my
colour-
recommendation
love
would
the
be to
colour
use a
scheme.
secondary light source.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Initial instinct for Evoked? What do you think?
Silver. I mean, how does she compare to these guys?
That's a good point. I think that this is just a bit rougher than the silvers that we've done so far, so it should be a bronze.
Yeah.
Because the skin is very samey.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
Needs-
quite
could be a
samey
bit more
skin.
variation in the
Yeah.
skin too. Yeah. For both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting when painting coloured skin, trying to create the sense that this thing is like a living creature, without going like, if you paint a Caucasian miniature person and you go, Games Workshop standard flesh tones build up. It looks like a plastic thing.
Yes.
And you need to introduce some colour to create the flush in the cheeks, the flush in the nose,
Yeah.
and some variation in that. And the same thing goes for when painting coloured skin.
I do think there's a touch of kind of red variation in the skin on this one. There's a little bit of colour to it. This one seems to be entirely in the same hue.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think bronze is fair for her.
Maybe we can put in the transitional pile.
Yeah. In the
Yeah.
in-betweens.
I think these should actually be looked at as a
It's in
little
the
group.
void.
In the void.
Oh, that's going to need some zoom out.
Yeah. He looks good on camera.
It looks great on
Literally
They all
every
look
single
good
one.
on Well done.
It's like,
everyone.
oh, what a banger!
They look
As soon
good.
as you get it on the camera. Yeah, okay. Another very good example of a need for separation of elements.
Definitely.
His helmet appears to just be like part of his face,
You don't know his species.
he's got.
It's carapace.
Yeah, what happens is his horns. It's actually all the same thing.
Yeah.
The helmet
that's
grows the
just
horns.
the skin. That's just a feature.
Yeah,
but-
I've zoomed in a bit so you can really see. But you see, like, just okay. Yeah, there's just nothing separating this part of the cheek guard and the face.
Yeah.
It stands out immediately. And maybe it's higher level feedback because it's just like literally technically difficult. But you need a separation between the eyeball and the
And the
eyelid.
eye. Yes.
Yeah. A nice way to achieve that sometimes if you can't paint an incredibly thin dark line is just paint the whole eyeball dark and then work your way up in the center in brighter colors.
Yeah, and same thing for like between the lips, inside the ears. You want a bit more sort of contrast.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Also the
Two
iris.
surfaces touch. There is a dark line.
Yes.
Nothing.
It's a pretty good attempt at non-metallic, but I want the highlights to be stronger.
Also his irises are too big.
Yeah, they are quite
weird.
large, aren't they?
Creepy
Yeah.
staring eyes.
It's anime eyes.
Cities, all
I
right?
don't. That could be offensive actually. So whoever these people are,
The freehand on the fabric in the stomach is
nice. This should be rewarded for sure in some way. And the NMM actually like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I have a real issue with the fact that the shoulder is so dark. What's
It is.
going
It is
on
quite
there?
dark, isn't it? Yeah.
This is bright and intense, and then this is like it's just living in a different environment.
maybe they've got like a bar of light like right in the middle. And
Yeah, but I don't want to go too low with this one because I think put these side by side.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's too much in that.
Yeah. Okay, let's just. I don't like that we're not making a decision. But I'm going to put it in that pile anyway.
There's not too many.
I would
in
agree.
the
The overall
bubble.
finish of it and that separation, like it does kind of get a little chaotic in between all of these areas.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And my immediate instinct for this one is bronze.
Yes.
Disagreement? I just think like yes,
Yeah.
there's OSL, but it's no stronger than the OSL we
Yeah.
just gave a
And
bronze.
the light source is really
Oh
dark.
yes, excellent,
It's
excellent choice
really
to talk
dark.
about.
Yeah.
The light source is very dark, and also the color of the cast light is completely wrong. You only have to look at it immediately to be like, that looks weird.
Yeah, but I mean, he's extremely well painted. Everything is painted
Yeah.
to the same sort of level.
Yep.
Looks
There's nice
good- looks
textures on the
quite good
fabrics.
From this angle, I think this angle is probably.
Yeah. I think the hair is quite well handled as well, actually.
Yeah.
Because you've got the line texture of the hair, but also the overall volume. Like the volume hasn't been lost in just painting millions of lines, which is quite easy
Yeah,
to
I
do.
want to see this flame be really bright,
Yeah.
super bright, and then casting a softer red shadow rather than a bright yellow shadow.
And you also need quite a dark transition anytime two light sources meet.
Yes.
You know, so this one falls off and it's replaced by this colder light. There should be a not really dark, but a
Yeah.
fairly dark transition
Yeah.
between them.
Yeah,
That's
it's called
not
a Terminator line.
exactly Terminator line. It's not really there. You know?
Yeah.
It falls off a bit, but there's not a delineation between them. And because of that, I think you look at this, and it is kind of hard to work out how it's lit.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't read well to the eye immediately.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there should be a sun or something off this way.
Yeah,
But it's too
quite
localized.
It's
It's
quite a
colourless.
large,
It's a very
light,
pale
different coloured light
Yeah,
source.
and I think like nobody would look at this and immediately think this comes from that, because the color and the intensity don't match. So that's this should be very orangey, right?
Yes,
And
it
then this
should
is
be.
more yellowy. That would be very important to try and work on. Yeah, I like bronze for that.
Yeah, same.
It's nice, but lots
Just
of
thought I'd give you a time update. It
Yeah.
is at 4:30, yes. So we probably have to be out of here by 6:30.
Oh, I think we'll be done.
I think we
I'd
should
hope
be
so.
on time. Yeah.
Well and truly done.
I'll be very tired if we're not done.
Good.
We'll be lying on the floor comatose. but-
Yeah.
Sorry, what cameras?
You're doing a wonderful job, and I appreciate you all.
Point the cameras at the floor,
Yeah.
and we'll judge like.
Yeah.
Back there.
Yeah.
By the end of it, we're all on beanbags.
Yeah.
No, I like this
That's
one.
not a bad idea.
What do we
Yeah, I
think?
think he's really quite cute.
It's
I
very
like the
subtle,
little-
so
I like the little blue highlights on his lenses. That's a nice little pop
Yeah.
of
What do
colour
you think his
for a
name
fairly
is?
monotone.
Franklin.
Franklin? Hey, it's Franklin. Is this what he grew up to be? Pilot?
He does seem to be a
He's looking a
Franklin.
little rough.
40s
Field
of just
Marshal somebody.
Field Marshal Franklin.
Yeah. Field Marshal Franklin Franks.
Field Marshal Franklin.
Yeah, Field Marshal Frank.
No, I think it's a bit different to judge this one because it is very subtle.
Yeah.
But there is skill in
There's
the execution
definitely
of that
skill, yeah.
subtlety.
Oh, he's so
A
cute.
bit better with the brighter background, right? The hand
Yeah.
suits a bit more nicely.
He gets lost in the black.
Yeah. I like that he's got this white fur, but there's a lot of colour in it. That's something people often
Yeah, there's
get
quite a lot of
wrong.
attention to detail on the fur, and I
Yeah.
think the highlighting is.
I mean, I'm not going to give this an amazing super high medal, but I think this is either a bronze or...
Between bronze and silver.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd say on
Again.
I'd say on the
Just
bronze
kick
end.
that can down the road.
I think
It's meant for the fact, like the what we were talking about before, the separation of those elements, like
Yeah.
the straps on the helmet on the side, like just kind of
Oh, yeah,
blend
definitely.
into
I
each
would agree
other.
with that for
Those
sure.
like all those lines of the actual
Yeah.
weave of the
Yeah.
or I guess the sewing.
This one, I think the darkness of the recesses in some places is fine, but it's the missing highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
either a black line or a highlight on the edge of the elements. Either one, but more separation between elements dimensions.
Because they're
Would
just
help
going to
it.
blend into each other on the sides.
But I really like the texture of the leather, the fabric, the fur, the skin, all of the texture.
Yeah, it's
It's
quite
really
a
nice.
carefully considered paint job.
Yeah, I think
I would like to see the join on the base painted.
Yeah.
There's a little bright spot there that kind of stands out.
Frosting at the
Yeah,
super.
yeah, the
Yeah,
frosting from the
yeah,
glue. Definitely
yeah.
fix that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, the camera makes it look particularly evident.
Yeah,
Yeah. Try and fix that.
That should disappear.
Anything that's going to distract people from the
Frosted
figure
Frank.
is a good
Can't
idea.
take
to
it
try
anywhere.
and frosting Frank. I think let's go there. We can always reconsider. Maybe that one's a good yardstick for these. Okay. I'm not a fan of how shiny it is.
No,
That's my
she's so shiny.
immediate read.
Yeah.
It doesn't read on camera how shiny.
No, you can't. You can
On
never see
camera,
that
she
kind of
looks
stuff
really
on
beautiful,
camera.
but
It's fairly glossy.
What you're looking at basically is a very glossy miniature.
It's just a choice of the varnish, and it's the same glossy from skin to
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
to
Yeah.
her leather, to
Yeah.
her horns, to her hair.
Yeah. Separation of elements again is an
Yeah,
issue.
yeah.
I like the makeup on the face though. This dark line really emphasizes the eyes. I mean, you can see on camera, and you're basically just looking at a more distant view of it on the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah.
It makes the face very striking, that choice. So it's good. This little portrait, interesting.
Yeah, I think
There's a
that's,
narrative there, I
quite
think,
nice.
as well.
Something going on with the story there.
Yep. I would not say this is better than a bronze. So it's either
I
a
think
bronze or it should be.
bronze is fair for her. Can you just bring her back there for a second?
No, I think we're done with
Oh.
this one. I know what you're
yeah,
going
we
to
have
say.
a key. We've
Don't
had
listen
some
to them,
off-camera
guys.
chat
Don't listen.
about this one, and I'll hold it at an angle that particularly emphasizes the problem that we're going to discuss. Do you want
This
to go, or do
this
you
has
want me
come
to
up
go?
a few times already
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
This is, please paint your rods.
Yeah, paint these some kind of dark color. I would say black,
Yeah,
obviously.
black,
but, just
preferably,
something
but
that's
something.
not going to distract.
Yeah, and this has got like glue
Yeah.
or some kind of
Yeah.
paste or something on it
Yeah.
that really stands out.
Definitely in this case, a painted rod and like a more attention to how it's connected
wasn't that a
would
crimson
work.
lesson 3
But-
years ago? Was
Yes.
paint your rods.
Yeah,
Last year was paint your tufts.
I mean, to be honest, the reason I think we're mentioning it
This
is
year
that this
is-
is every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
And
at
this year
least
is
a good
cork is
number.
cork.
yeah.
Pork, yeah, it should be. Yep.
I think metallic rods have a place and a time. This is not one of them,
Oh man.
but don't discount it.
In general, my view is never put a highly polished piece of metal on your miniature art.
I mean, it's a highly polished piece of art.
Yeah, especially if you've painted other
Oh,
metal
true.
on it.
That's a good point.
it's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely I would change that. That should be victim. And
Here's
also the
another
plinth
one.
probably doesn't complement it.
Yeah.
Another one with the same problem.
Yeah, same
This
issue.
model, I love Cat. She's
And again, as soon as you hold it on an angle where the light reflects, it's like all you really look
All
at
you
is
see
how
is the rod.
intense this rod is. Yeah. So it is a problem. Same again, I think it's somewhere in that category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in bronze,
Same, same. Bronze, yeah. Okay.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh, I
That's
love
kinda nice.
him.
Yeah,
I love him so
I
much.
love this guy. He's cool.
He's a little grunt, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like this a lot. Yeah.
We need
Yeah,
a voice button
absolutely.
on this one.
It's a good example of the light sources being the brightest point.
Yeah, actually, it's perfect. So you look on camera and it reads so much better.
It
I think the
does.
blue is still a little bit too saturated to fit with this light source, and
Especially as it
also
falls off. It's just consistent across the
as it falls off, particularly. Yeah. Like for example, this is quite a bit further from the light source than his hand, but it's exactly the same as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
But you look at it on the camera and you're like, yeah, this is where the light's coming from. That's the source,
Yeah.
and then it's
Gets
blue.
the point across.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reads much
definitely
more
does.
nicely.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is a silver.
Yeah, I think so
Or
too.
it's at least somewhere in this
What's
region.
his name?
Yeah.
Jerry.
Buddy, they don't
Grunty,
have time.
grunty
Don't know.
McGruntface?
Jerry Grunt.
Oh yeah, this is an excellent one for nicely separated elements. Alright, so these nice dark lines in the armor, nice highlights.
Yes.
You don't have to go mad with this, like you don't need like a white highlight and a black line on every edge, but it should be clear that they're separate elements.
Yeah.
And yes, I was going to say, can you just start varying some stuff around? Okay. Yep.
Alright, here's one that
The
is
pinch method.
a bit unusual compared to what we've been
Yeah, I
judging
feel like I
so
should
far.
have a glove for this one.
Yeah. He feels very smooth and looks very smooth.
Yeah.
Little smooth
We've all
guy.
rubbed this model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love this.
I think I would give this a bronze.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I think it's quite well done, but it's very
Yes.
flat overall. I think there could definitely be more depth.
The execution of what it is done in a skilled way, right?
Yeah.
So these transfers, very nicely
Transfers
done,
look
integrated
really
well
good,
with the
yeah,
surface.
for sure.
The weathering is very nice and subtle. I do
Like
think
maybe
it
a bit more
lacks-
attention to the hoses. The hoses feel a little bit rough.
The hoses
to
are
me.
definitely rough, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it lacks in volumes for sure.
Yeah.
Like you just don't get a good sense of what.
It's such a big model with all of these like huge volumes anyway. So
You just don't get a good sense of what shape it is.
yeah.
I think somewhat for this piece, I believe this might be a Machine and Krieger model, or like something in that
Something like
vein.
that, isn't it? Yeah.
And for the style of that paint work, I think it's probably on the
These are
competent
gold?
end
Yes.
of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
No.
It's a good
No, we've
execution
looked
of
at
that
these
style.
guys, so you can take them.
But
I don't know.
it's-
I
it
think we have to
still
decide
needs-
whether we want to reward it in the style of its painting.
I think even in the style of painting, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's like a fantastic representation of it.
It's got a
but
firm
it's-
bronze.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
if not a
I
gold.
think that's its number. This is a.
I think it's very bronze. I think it's nice.
I don't know where this one came from.
We'll find it.
Yeah.
Carry him through. It's time to pick up the pace. Okay. I need to get one of these cameras. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna use this for all my stuff, man. Every time. It's, oh my god. Oh, look at this. Okay. Another very good example of stuff just not being separated and not being highlighted. You go around here, like you just cannot tell what the shapes of this armor are. It's all just like a mass. So that definitely needs work. I like the dual light sources. I think this is a slightly better example of not just dark on one side
Yes,
and lit on
definitely,
the
yeah.
other. But again, there's no Terminator line at all. Like I can't figure out where one light source begins and another ends. So it's red.
I
This
also
way,
feel
right?
like this wants to be a light source, but it isn't
Yes.
casting any light anywhere.
Yeah, this is a bit of a miss, this fire, for sure. Because it actually just gets dark at the
Yeah,
bottom. It's like,
yeah.
that doesn't...
That should be
Yeah.
pretty white in there.
Yeah, 100%.
Flip them around. It's a bright shoulder.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, if you turn him around, the fire is the darkest thing on his back. I mean, that's definitely...
Strange.
And this is another separation of elements one as well here, right? Like, a chain is a very separated feature,
Yeah.
and you still can't really distinguish the
Yeah, there
links
needs
that
to be
easily.
more
Yeah.
black lining in there. Yeah.
More highlights for sure on the
Yeah.
chains, because it's actually quite sharp-edged links, you know?
Especially with the light source from the other side coming from that direction and being reflected on that very reflected material on the back.
Yeah. I think that this is actually might be commendable.
Yes.
Yeah. I think there's much more going on than the stuff that we cut, but it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's probably not at the level of a lot of the things we've just given a bronze, provisionally given a bronze.
Happy with that? Commended.
It's a painted rod.
Yeah, it's a black rod, and it's very matte as well.
It is very matte. It's nice. I like it. I give it gold. I really like the color scheme in this one a lot. Like the blue and the yellow and the purple. Really excellent together, and it's got a good balance of each color.
Yeah.
I think again, like we were talking about, the face needs to be pulled a little tighter.
Definitely. For me, this is a commended or a bronze. And I think the reason I would be harsh about it is because the lighting, I think, just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know what's going on here. There's a highlight here,
Yeah.
but then this...
So it looks like the lighting coming from above is over here somewhere, but then there's also bright highlights coming from
Yeah,
this direction,
yeah.
and then there's like an odd sort of a highlight in the middle of those panels on that.
different
accordion
elements
thing
of
she's
this
got.
piece, actually all of the different elements, the yellow, this bomb thing, and the face, these are all in disagreement about where the light's coming from.
Yeah.
And it makes it look extremely weird to look at.
I think the light that does work is what's coming from inside her collar there, bouncing
Yeah, that's
off
quite
her
nice.
jaw.
Yes, this
That's
OSL I
quite
think
nice.
is
Yeah.
good. Look from below. This looks
Yes.
about right. Yeah. Although I suppose she should have some up underneath her just under the brow here, right?
Maybe,
Should have a touch
yeah.
of that colour reaching there. But
I mean, it
that's
reaches
nice.
the tips of her hair, so
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But then it just inexplicably
Yeah.
stops there.
Yeah.
That's a bit nice.
Bronze.
Yeah, you think bronze? Gut instinct, commended or bronze?
I mean, it's hard to be biased because I know this person.
Yeah, sure.
And they've done some work on it since showing it to me.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, commended or bronze. I'll just say in between that. Leaning towards commended.
I'm going to say commended. So I'll be the tiebreaker.
Yep.
And this is another one where the lack of separation of elements is really hurting it. Like this cup has a whole thing going on here, and you can't even see it. Like it just looks like that's just a cup, but it's got this whole like bit in there. The whole jacket actually has lots of texture. It's all pretty much invisible. Definitely,
Yeah.
if you want to spend some more time on this, whoever painted this one, I would just do a bit of dark lining and highlighting, basically.
Bit of separating.
Yep. Very nice.
We're getting to it.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere. And then
I was going to hold that for a
that is a I'd say this is similar to that.
Yeah.
That's my immediate read. Yep.
That's your
So
yardstick.
bubble of between.
I think these are
commended.
comparable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is probably more like a bronze actually.
Right. Okay.
This was the one we put like on the transition
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But I think actually this is leaning more towards bronze as time goes on.
So, what do you think about this guy?
The volume of the green is nice. It could be improved with little bounce lines from somewhere. The texture is a nice touch.
Yes.
Frosting again, making a reappearance.
Definitely fix that.
Yeah.
Star of the show.
I think.
I'd like to see some like reds on his ears and his nose and his fingers. Some sort of indication of the blood underneath his skin there.
It always feels like an
that Games
incredibly.
Workshop process as well. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of looks a little plastic.
It always feels like an incredibly trite piece of feedback to give, but this is another one where it's just lacking in contrast. Like the contrast of value, not too bad, I think, but contrast of hue is definitely lacking.
Yeah.
The skin
I'd
is
like
all
another-
just a kind of
another colour in there.
yellowy
Yeah.
tone, right? Could use some red.
Could definitely use some red.
Yeah. And the skin probably is not bright enough actually.
Yeah.
I think like the fabric looks brighter than the skin to me, or at least it's very
The
close.
thing that stands out for me on this one is his tummy.
Yeah, exactly.
the
Yeah,
buttons.
that grabs the focus immediately. Bronze.
Yep.
That's cool. Both that way.
Okay. Little cutie. She's very cute. Actually, now that I'm looking at her face under the light, I think it's a bit easier to see what's going on there.
Yeah. I think this is between bronze and silver for me.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the non-metallics are done really well.
Yeah. I think if we go back and look at our silvers, we'll find that this does not look too dissimilar
Yes,
to that kind of
agreed.
level.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit less
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah, I think that highlight on the corner of the lip is much too bright.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but
kind of-
being able to see it in the light, it makes a bit more sense. I can see why they've done
Yeah.
it because
Yeah.
there is definitely a volume in the sculpt there.
Yeah. The hair lacks volume a little bit as well. This is just
Very
This
soft.
is kind of orange. It needs a bit of a. It needs a bit of a light.
Yeah, there needs
Hair
to
is
be a
very
highlight along the edge
reflective.
there. Yeah.
Shield's cool though.
Yes.
Very nice. It's nice and matte.
And the back of her hair looked good too, from what I could see. All these little beads.
Yeah.
That's cool. Put her in
Nothing too
silver.
wrong there.
Yeah.
Axe looks pretty nice.
It's good separation of elements in
Yeah.
there.
I like the transition of the hair from the front to the back, the light to the dark, but I think it could certainly still do with some tighter specular highlights.
I think this fabric is a bit of an army painting type mistake to make. So the fabric is like the recesses are done, and it doesn't really make any sense.
No,
this
no.
recess is done.
It
Why would
should
that
be
be?
the same. Yeah.
If anything, this one should be a highlight
Yeah.
because the light's kind of coming in a bit more like this, right? So where this bends should reflect the light.
Yeah. Intuitively, you think the folds are darker than but they're facing in the same direction, so they'd be catching the same light.
Yeah, and they're a concave surface,
Yeah.
so they should reflect light. That's a transition. The borderline bronze, I reckon. Border silver bronze.
He's seen me.
Come back.
He's seen me. I've seen him.
Hang the back of your model.
Yes. Oh yeah. I think that's one of the reasons we brought this up. This is a quintessential.
Yeah.
The back of this is just not done.
Yeah. A lot of attention
alright.
paid to the front,
But the back is
not as much to the back.
nothing.
I think this one goes down commended. Or it could even be a cut.
The front is definitely bronze. The back pulls it down. I really like the saturation of those flowers. That's just
So this thing just needs to be highlighted.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
just needs a ton of
the
highlight.
volume doesn't look bad at all. This is fine, but the edges just need to be picked out. I think if you just did that, this would look far more convincingly metallic.
The red in her fabric is really
Commended?
nice as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Recommended. And then we can have a
I
glance.
think the freehand tattoos as well are really nice.
We're not bad on camera either. This is in the same kind of space again, I think. This is a bronze type.
Yeah, I think that's probably
Entry.
a bronze. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go
Again,
on
this
with
is another separation of elements one. There's just nothing separating these two bits.
Yeah.
There's nothing separating this. These need to be much more delineated. There's a big old
big old seam line.
There's a moderate mold slit down the back of her arm that needs to be cleaned up for sure.
Flame set.
Oh yeah, blame his caster.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick that guy up. I think try and fix this up as well.
The
A lot of this,
Yeah, a little bit of stray paint on the back arm there.
a lot of this stuff is actually like sort of fairly basic finishing steps.
Tip of that rod is peeking
Yes, exactly. It needs to be fixed.
through. So close.
Yeah, they really should just strip it back to the mat.
Yeah. Dunk it in some acetone.
Yeah.
No, I like
Maybe
that.
bronze.
Yeah, I think it's
Border, yeah. Bronze commanded.
Yeah. Oh, it's a Mamanoma. Bronze for me.
Yeah.
That's my immediate.
So what I might suggest, as we're starting to run on time,
Yep.
we might just go for relatively quick judgment calls and then see how you feel after that, if it
Yep.
needs to be discussed further. Obviously you've talked a lot of great stuff. I know you've got heaps of time, I'm not saying that, but you do still come here.
I think we're like relatively on schedule.
You're on schedule.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
The category is like
Starting to get
half.
off schedule.
Oh,
You're at risk.
okay.
Okay,
We'll speed it up a little bit.
let's go this way. I'll pick them up, turn them a bit, say your initial call. If we have a radical disagreement, we'll have some discussion.
All right.
Otherwise, we
Sounds good to me.
We're in speed round now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Glue your stuff to your.
Oh, yes,
plinths,
please.
yeah. Not just because it's a sort of finishing issue, but just for our own
It's a
stress
safety.
levels.
It's a
you know?
safety
Yeah.
issue. We don't
Yeah.
want to break stuff.
If your thing's not glued and I accidentally break it, I'm not going to be sympathetic. I'll be
Won't be
blaming you.
sorry.
Yeah. Bronze for me. Disagreement? Bronze. Bronze.
Speed run system, I love it.
That's a commended or a cut.
Yeah, I think it's a commended at.
Close look. We'll start with the initial points. The next one will be
I think a cut.
a cut. I think I'd be happy to say cut. Yeah. I won't argue.
I want some more on that non-metallic metal for that one.
Yep. Also just contrast, like the volumes don't really read very well. I like the subtlety of the lighting from the side. I think this reads quite nicely.
I think the other side of the face brings it down quite a lot.
Yes.
Could do with a second light source.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You go here and it's like nothing. Get a, I don't know, just a random blue light or something. right?
Yeah,
Just so that there's
yeah.
something to transition
Yeah.
to.
No, I
I say command.
yeah, you think so? Yeah, okay.
I'll just be not
Couple. Commanded bronze bubble.
Put it on the line. Yep.
I think we want to put this one in bronze to silver. Quite like it. I like her face a lot. I think it's a really nice focal point,
Yeah.
especially with that blue on her shoulder there. It's sort of bringing your attention to it.
I think it's borderline and I want to reward the creativity of it.
Yeah,
So I'm going to
definitely.
say that should go up to silver, right?
Silver?
Yeah. And it's big, so we're not going to miss it. We're going to have a quick look again.
Yeah.
And go over the category.
Yeah.
Silver.
Yeah, I like this dude. Yeah. I like him quite a lot. Yeah.
This is like a trickier one to snap judge. Isn't
It is, yeah. Snap judging is not easy.
Sometimes you pick it up and you're like, I've got an immediate view about this.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a little bit hard to say.
I want to put this guy in sort of high silver. I think he's really well done. I like the scenery. I really think the arms sticking up out of the grey are quite cool.
certainly not
It's like he's summoning.
Silver.
Yeah, I think given the stuff that we've got in silver, I would honestly put this in bronze.
Okay.
The
I would be.
No, the Crimson Rush.
and like looking at the separation again, the
Yeah,
composition,
okay.
like
Yeah.
it's fairly chaotic. There is a nice bright orb in the middle, but
Yes.
there's nothing of that in the rest aside from his eye. And like the rest of the scene is kind of flat and a bit distracting.
I think if we've just said that this is a bit borderline, but it's
Yeah.
a silver because of the atmosphere and the creativity of
Yeah.
it, then this is probably more of a bronze.
Okay.
But so let's say that's silver. This one can go in the revisit pile. I do want to see it side by side with other stuff.
I think the gradients on this one works really
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
I think this little guy is adorable.
Yeah, it's cute, isn't it?
I love him.
I know that's not a very logical judging category, but
I was
criteria.
gonna say like the dragon underneath. I think the texture carries the paint job.
Oh yeah.
But
There's
the guy on top is
Definitely not enough attention paid to this thing, whatever the hell this is.
Yeah, but the silver on his little pauldrons and breastplate there looks really good.
I think I'd give it a silver.
Yeah,
This is very
It
nice.
is. Someone said the car
yeah, this
shadow.
is also
Yeah.
quite nice.
The car
what he's
shadow
got
on
going
the
yeah.
spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think if you imagine this in maybe your shoulder a bit, it would look out of place.
yeah. I'd put that
Silver.
in.
Silver, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this one.
I like this one.
Get one of those prepaid
Fan.
It's a lot of chaos
Just a
stars.
fan.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
Are those all transfers or are they free?
They're all freehand.
They don't
I
look like
think.
transfers.
They look too uniform.
This might be a transfer, but a lot of it is definitely freehand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I'm going to give an issue with this one, obviously this is a massive focal point, and it's not really on the center mass.
Yeah.
So it does look a little bit odd. It's always going to be a challenge because of the sculpt, right? You have this huge thing that is a focal point off center, so it's always an issue.
I think the gradients they've got on the whites and the bands of colour, I think are done.
I think this might have to be a silver. I think it's just too
Yeah,
neatly
it is
executed.
extremely
like,
well done. Yeah.
Very well executed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically a game model. It's very nicely done.
Yeah. Nicely painted game model.
Yep.
We have
Take your number with you.
Oh yes, I think I lose that.
it's already been judged, so
83.
Commended it.
I think commended as well. That's my vote. Commended. No disagreement.
Is this yours, man?
get me instead.
This is one of those on-camera bangers again. We've circled back to that.
Yeah. Oh, that looks great.
Let's just frame it perfectly. Oh, a little bit brighter. Oh yeah. Oh. I think it's a bronze.
My gut.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing that pulls it down for me is the shiny finish.
Yeah, the finish is an
I want
issue,
it to
and the
be a little
hair
bit
is really not
matte.
rendered enough.
Yeah.
The fact that it's very shiny is doing a lot of work on the camera.
Yeah.
I think this hair is pretty much one color. There's part
the cloak as well.
done at the front here.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think
Yep.
the skin is really nice. I like the variation of colour in the ears.
Oh, yeah.
and
It
the lips. I
creates a
think
lot of
it's quite
focus to it.
I'd
Little
also like
spots of colour in the
to
cheeks
see a
also.
painted texture on the fabric that complements the sculpted texture.
Yeah.
It's really just painted like very simplistic. What did we say? Bronze.
bronze, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, this is wild, isn't it? It's really annoying that we're going over so many different sizes of figure. Okay. Alright. Commended?
Yeah, I think so.
There's
not
just
really-
not enough contrast in these metal elements.
I think the face is obviously a bit of a mess.
The face is a real mess, yeah.
The wood at the bottom as well is
Oh, it's actual wood.
kind of
I hadn't noticed that.
a strange touch.
Yeah.
And
What is this, Krampus?
It's a bit
kind
like
of
that, isn't it? It's some Kingdom Death
the
weirdness.
way it's put on the base kind of emphasizes that the actual model is
Oh, it's
completely
magnetic.
flat on the bottom. And it just makes
I believe
looks a bit weird.
that base is magnetic.
Yeah, he does move. Yeah.
Something's moving a little bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's magnetic from memory registration. It's of their magnetic room.
The dust is not helping us either, is it? This hits a lot of the beats of things that we were criticizing.
Yeah.
Separation of elements, contrasts,
Focal point.
are all issues.
Focal point should be here,
Commended.
and it's not.
Yeah. Commended. Let's talk about slidey in some way. Big old Seraphon lad.
Yeah, he's pretty cute.
Yep.
That's my main criteria for judging. Is it cute? If not, then
I'm on either a commended or a bronze. Snap judgment. What do you think?
I think bronze.
You think bronze?
Yeah, considering what we just put into
Have a
commended.
brief look.
Right.
It's very consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one is definitely I like.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
I
nice.
think it's a very nice creative
Snap
idea.
judgment then.
Silver.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very like
I like this one a lot too. I think.
I like it as well.
I think it's really quite nice.
Yeah, I'll try and get the whole.
It is massive.
I'll try and get the
Yeah.
whole thing. It's quite a scene. Blood for the blood god.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Skulls
There's
for the
so much
skull.
going on. Like they've incorporated the
This
weirdness
is
of the.
this is cool. Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that he's a
Yeah. It's a berserker-esque figure for sure.
Snap judgment
them
bronze.
and
Yes,
the
I agree.
Slanesh do not like each other.
Yeah, the story element is really cool because of this base. The painting is quite simplistic.
Walking all bunny.
This is probably a stronger example of separation of elements and all that kind of stuff. I think the volumetric highlighting has used some work, a bit more contrast. It's all real, samey, top bottom,
Yeah,
back
it
front.
is.
The red looks like it's just contrast paint.
Pretty much, yeah.
Could be a
fair
bit
bit of
more
texture.
texture on the cloak as well, like at the back.
Also, the face, I think, because there's no volumes, is bloody hard to read.
It is
Like, it just
difficult
looks
to read.
like there is a lot of shape to the armor, but you can't see it.
Yeah.
That'd be a hard one to do. That would be a hard one to make.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know how big this was.
Silver bronze for me. I think there's a lot
I
of
think
good stuff
bronze,
about it.
100%.
That brings it down a little.
Yeah.
I'm not even taking it into consideration.
I would have said it's bronze or commended, so silver,
Yeah,
bronze,
bronze,
commended,
bronze.
bronze. And yes, the rod is
Yeah, it does.
Cute.
That's
really heavy.
very-
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's hefty,
very
isn't it?
This
cute.
must be metal. That is a freaking ton.
Yeah, look at it.
The front is really nice.
I think it's a bronze.
The blending is very good. The separation, we've been talking about that.
I'm pushed between a silver and a bronze.
Yeah.
And I think I'm
Leaning
going
towards
to say that it's a bronze because you turn it around.
Elements of it feel unfinished.
Yes. This does not feel finished to me. I mean, if it's out of the light, then what you need is no contrast. You need deeper shadows.
Deeper shadows,
right?
yeah. And this under here doesn't have any, it's just flat colour.
This is just blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
I think
blue,
you go-
Is it like blue skin or is it a blue light? Given that blue is everything else.
I think you go, oh, this is lovely. But then if you
When you start
You go-
really looking at it.
you go like this, you go, oh, that's just blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. No separation between the leg and the body as well. Bronze, yeah. It's quite heavy.
You ready to zoom the camera out? Don't forget the number. It goes
There
up.
you go.
Another number.
Yeah, another one. Bits of sticky tape next year.
I mean, it's got half a ton.
Time to zoom.
Enough out.
I don't know.
I gave one to Ben earlier to find because to check the system.
Hey,
There we go. Nice.
it's a big old Cerastus Night Acheron.
I'm glad you know what this is.
I've got the names. I have one of these. Yeah, I think it might be the resin.
I think this is plastic. The resin one is much heavier.
Yeah, mine weighs a bloody ton. Yeah, this is the plastic one. Lovely kit.
It is.
Oh, actually, hold on. It's definitely plastic. Yeah. Because they redesigned this. Because the original one was resin, so you could heat it up and bend it to the shape. And it had quite a different design. This one's made of tons of tiny links. Very cool.
That sounds fun.
Yes. No, I like the bending. The bending's better than the tiny links.
Love the colour scheme.
Oh, I mean, like all the tiny links sound
Yes.
Love
Exactly. It's horrible, yeah.
the
undercarriage
decals
is
look really
really
good.
Yeah.
Very clean.
Very, very clean.
Yep, I would definitely heavily criticize the skeleton, I suppose, right? There are ways to do this much better than it's been done
Yeah.
here. But I like the rust.
Yeah, the weathering looks really good.
Nice weathering.
I think looking at it like from this, it
Oh, it's
looks
real,
like nothing.
real rough from this angle. Yeah.
From the front, like the one angle that it's meant to be looked at, I think it looks great. But
I'd be worried if I
over
saw it coming
everything-
towards me on the battlefield.
Well, you'd be about this big. So, I'd put this in bronze because of the things that are pulling it down.
Yeah.
I think the front for me is probably silver, but then the back is a little bit
Yes.
under finished.
And this is yet another one where the separation of elements is killing it. You know,
Yeah.
there's all these holes in here.
Oh yeah, there should be a bit more.
Nothing done on there. There's no separation between the metal and the armor plate. That's pretty rough as well. That's just silver with some sponging.
Yep. Yeah.
Bronze. I like the yellow. Lovely. Very nice transfers as well.
It's a hard colour to do as well, that colour. Like,
Yeah, the decal's really
Yeah.
nicely applied as well. Lovely work. And chipped really well too.
Else Cross. Echo Galaxy.
Yeah, this is Alice. Yeah. I really like the way the hair is, the highlight on that. That looks really good.
I think this is a colour recommended to me.
Yeah. I think commended is.
Yep.
A
Go
good
commended
spot
and
for it.
review it.
Parts of it
jacket's
feel.
cool.
Can we
the,
have a
the
board
jacket
at
is. Parts of it feel a little unfinished.
Yeah.
I've run out of tape.
Yeah, there's a real space issue going on here. Commended. I would give this.
Yeah.
That's my instant read.
Yes.
Commended. Looks nicer on camera than it is in the hand. I think this is just like one where there's not enough happening here.
Yeah, there's it's all sort of very flat
Yeah.
across the board.
This is a face, which is it's a face.
The face
And
is
then the rest of it
nicely
is
done, but I
just-
feel like it's missing something
Yeah.
special.
Yep.
Oh, this little guy. It's a really good example for me of using a plinth that really works well with the.
Piece, sure, yeah, great. It's bronzer recommended here. I think the painting is just rough. Like,
I'm leaning commended.
Yeah, parts of it are quite good, and then parts of it feel.
I think I'm thinking back to what we have just said is a bronze.
Yeah.
And I think this is not as strong as that.
Okay. Commended?
It's just not enough. All of our helpers have
I think
disappeared.
this one feels like a commended for me. Very lucky in contrast.
I think we're definitely going to revisit the commenders anyway. So.
Yeah.
Commended. Thoughts?
Commended.
Fix them so they're on the cups.
Yeah, little demos. I said it makes not feel weird about, dude, I never wanted to feel that way about. He's felt that way about me since the day met me. He's like, finally.
I'd give it a bronze again.
Yeah. It's fairly flat and the tufts are just stuck on.
Yes.
And it doesn't like that's a very saturated green.
Yeah, so if we're going to be tough taters, this is a good example of
Tough
one.
taters.
Yeah.
Tough taters.
I would argue for the tufts in this case because they're deliberately very crammed together. Like there's a lot of them. He's in a lush green field. They're not just scattered
Yeah.
randomly
Yeah.
on the base
I think they
just
need
for
some
the sake of
shading
it.
at the roots. That's
Yeah,
my
they could do
criticism.
with
But
some
they-
shading, but there's a deliberate choice being
The
made there
green
with
I'm
the
fine
tufts.
with. I
Yeah,
don't think that's a problem.
yeah. In terms of the
I mean, I'm
environment that
looking
he's
from
in.
this angle where
Yeah.
it's like shadow and then green.
Yeah. Yeah, they could
Yeah, I
do
think
with being a
that's
little
it.
darker, but the sheer amount of them is saying something.
I think this is not a crazy bronze selection, so let's just do that.
Yeah.
And we can
Alright.
do bronze commended line or something.
I'd like to put him in silver to bronze, I think.
I am going to go bronze, silver line for this.
Yeah.
I really like the
I
story on this one.
love the idea.
Yes.
I like the red on this side and
I
the
think the painting is a bit rough again, narratively speaking. It's really cool.
narratively
I
definitely.
mean, it's a good soft white that they've gone though. And it works with that. Silver bronze. Silver bronze.
I just noticed he's standing on like a floor covered in just viscera, just
Yeah.
goo,
Bronze commended.
body parts, and
Yep. Bronze.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Bronze of the bronze. Yep.
Very cool.
It's a cool idea, cool composition, and then the execution is a bit weak. So reward it that
I
way.
do like that the blood is actually like dripping.
Yeah, it's real cool. I mean,
Not
that's
just
just,
composition of
let's
it
make
is
sure
very
it gets
nice.
its moment on camera. We can easily lose that. It is cool, isn't it? I like it. Bronze.
thick blood.
I think commended.
As well. Yeah.
Consensus, I guess. I
What do you think?
I think the metallic, it looks like they're going for scales
Yeah.
with the metallic
Yes,
paint,
definitely.
but it just looks a bit distracting because they're
Yeah.
just haphazard.
I think there could be
What do you think
more
it is?
emphasis on it and more
I
highlighting.
think it's a
Okay. So we have two commendeds in a car. We'll go.
yeah.
I think if we're not sure, we go up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Try it not,
agreed.
not be harsh for no
This
reason.
little guy, I'm biased towards him.
Yep. I'd give this a gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's such a creative idea and,
Yeah.
and the way she's.
I mean, in terms of the scale of skill of execution that we're looking at in standard, this is fairly high.
Yeah.
The execution of this is quite nicely done, and the composition is lovely. This is a wonderfully composed piece.
Yeah, it is. It reads really nice,
Yeah, yeah,
especially in photographs.
yeah. I mean, on the camera,
Lovely,
I think it looks
yeah.
particularly
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there's real directional lighting. Like you can see what I mean about the global contrast, right? Like you have this clear focal point, and it proceeds into this lovely cold blue. There's this nice, interesting kind of impasto,
Yeah.
impasto-ish background going on. I really like this. I'd give this gold.
I think it's very well done in regards to like a painted backdrop.
Yeah.
Gold.
Let's go golden if it looks particularly odd. We can always.
You're doing a wonderful job,
We're getting
and
there.
I appreciate your.
On schedule. It's fine. Bronze.
Yes, I think so. Yep. I've got some issues with the glossiness of it.
Yes, and also this is another back that is like.
Yeah, there's nothing really going on there.
Yeah. I think either you have very general lighting, so that something is happening at the back, or you have multiple light sources, so it comes bright, dark, bright again. You know. Bronze.
I think silver maybe for him.
Paint the back bottle.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. One of the nicer faces
He
I've seen.
is, yeah, he's got a really great face.
Let's bronze silver line.
Yeah,
We
okay.
could do. Let's have a quick look at it again in a second.
Yep.
Outstanding work. One category to go. So,
Perfect.
do you want a break? Do you want to go to the bathroom and have a break, and then come back? Or go through?
I'm fine.
I'm good. I'm good to keep going for now.
Right?
So,
We'll take a break
Break
while we do the
do
card.
another category,
Yeah.
but not a proper
switch
break.
to the other view.
Model view?
Displace the Hello, friends. Big Dunner reporting in live from the judging. Bunny's enjoying everything about it. Welcome. We are 3/4 of the way through. We've got single figure standard category to go. We should be moving through relatively quickly with that category. Most of the judging discussion has been focused on sort of general feedback, general advice that applies to most models, and it's a hard thing to sustain the level of intensity for 3 hours that they've currently been going for, and we still have an hour to go. So we will be aiming to move through this final category slightly quicker than we have the other, but there will still be some great feedback, no doubt, for those people, and we will close the stream off before we make a determination on which model wins best of standard. That will be announced at the presentation. Very exciting. Have you got a favourite so far?
Me? I really loved the little owl on the oil painted type style background. I think it was
Cool.
really, really, really cute. There was something else, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I'll get back to you on.
The wonders of the internet. Welcome to the internet. Take a look around.
I think he's doing a second one of those. Yeah, we're back.
Well played, y'all.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey. All right, so we are moving through the single figure category separation of judging. Judges are doing a wonderful job, and they are going to blitz through this category. I am certain of it, because if they don't, I will pass out on the floor, and that will be that.
I think they've got like a better idea of what they're looking for now,
Agreed.
so they should be quite easy to get through all of it.
I might go get my feet on camera.
Get them toes out.
Yeah, I'll put them in front of this one here. So just
Yeah.
I'll get it right in there.
All right.
Get the feet up on the thing.
Well, look at this chat. We're getting free feet, free toes, free toes. Look at that. Normally you have to pay a premium for those toes right there. And the sole. Normally that's extra. That is an add-on that you normally have to pay extra for. I really should be protecting our judges, right? Seamus, get your toes out. New subscriber emote. Deno's foot. Well, fun fact, we have a I'll see if I can find it somewhere and post it in my Discord. Here we go. We've got people dropping it. We've got a photo of Deno's feet, because I have a great habit of taking photos of his feet, and we've photoshopped his face onto every single one of his toes. We might be able to convince him to let us have that as an emote. Look, I think this is a recipe for success.
Send that photo to me, Bunny. I'll put it on the stream for everyone.
I don't know where that photo is.
Someone must have clipped it. It's in the chat somewhere.
Ben's got it.
We've got to get it.
Ben will know where it is. Because it's
Ben, if you're out there listening,
he isn't.
please.
He's right there. I can see
Ben,
him.
if you're listening,
Ben.
get that foot photo.
Ben, if you're listening.
If you're listening to the stream, can you send me that foot photo of that foot with my face on the toes?
Just go back and look at it. Do you know how to use your phone?
I don't have my phone, Spud.
I like how we have a very specific photo, but I'm just saying it could be our next emote.
Clouded Page, hello, welcome to the stream. I'll move over so you can see my face. Hello, mate. Yes, look, we will have full edited versions of this, which cuts out all of the chaff, all of the me talking and the feet pictures that you can find on my YouTube, which will come out in a few days' time. And that is that. Unfortunately, that is all we will be doing. I will not be releasing the VODs onto Twitch for a variety of reasons. The main one being because I don't want to. I want to drive plenty of YouTube clicks. No, that's not really true.
The feet is purely if you're here. It's stream exclusive.
Yeah, no, I dislike having all of the stuff and people having to scrub through it. So this is amazing. Twitch stream, having everyone involved on the stream live is really engaging, and hopefully it's been entertaining and illuminating for you all, including pictures of my feet. But no, it's not anymore. It was. Yeah, who sent that?
Someone on the phone idea.
Yeah, that's because they haven't refreshed. We fixed it, mate. We corrected the problem. We've now got 0 dropped frames since we started. Excellent work, Deno. You're a tech genius. Anyway, Ben's working on...
Finding that toe photo.
Yeah, it is so smooth now, and I don't know what's going on, but honestly, I think it's the hair. Have you got the feet toe Dano face photo? I promised the stream that I'd show them this, so let me go back to this one. Yes, so this is it's ramping up. Actually, I've got a better angle than that. Let's try. Oh, look at this angle. It's glorious. How many angles do we need? We need a feet angle.
We need one under the stairs.
Under the table for the feet.
Dino going for that dad mullet.
Crib Shadow, let's have a look at it from the back, shall we? So it's going well. It's a lion's mane, if you will. And look,
He's giving Fabio a run for his money, honestly. Look at that.
thank you all.
You see it from the front. You should see it from the back.
No, look, when I was younger, when I went to school, I actually had long hair. I wore a braid to my high school formal.
I need to see photos of
I've
this.
got photos
I
of
need
that.
to see
I've got photos of that. So long hair is not something that I'm unaccustomed to. But yeah, as I got into a more professional environment and world, I wasn't really in a position to do it. But I got sacked last year. Got made redundant after 20 years with one company. And so while I was kicking back doing nothing, I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring the long hair back. Long hair back. So that's what we're going for. We're going for.
Same with Ben. Ben's growing out his hair. Have I showed you the photo of his fringe? There's this one hair that grows on his forehead, and I call it his fringe, and it gets like this long. I love it. It's my favourite hair.
Oh, it's good stuff. All right, what's happening over here? There's too many models on that table. Can someone tell these judges to stop giving out medals? Who's in charge of this shambles?
No. Who works here?
Somebody in charge of this disorganised ramble. No, that's not true. We want to give out as many medals as we think is justified, and if we're not sure, we err on the side of giving more medals. So,
What are you guys doing? Bringing over every model?
hey, do you want to just bring everything over and then judge it? It's about 12, mate.
12 left.
12 left. Jeepers.
Oh, Seb says your beard looks great now, Ben. Okay.
Ben's
Don't
beard.
feed his ego, please.
Crib Shadow, the medals are not made from chocolate. This is not Belgium. We do not have Belgium chocolate awards. Our medals are made of cardboard
Our medals are made of cardboard.
because we are poor and we can't give out more medals.
We care about the planet and the sustainability.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah, but Mythbusters said there's no nutrition in cardboard.
Mossy, do you want to come and have a chat on stream?
No.
That is the hardest no that you've ever seen in your life.
Direct eye contact. Like,
That was, I'm about to get stabbed in the eyeball if I ask her that again.
the art school grad show.
Look, CS, that's an interesting observation. What you're talking about is a difference between traditional Golden Demon style competition. We have a gold, silver, bronze, and what we like to call the open competition, which is where everyone is judged on their own merit. And if there are 12 gold entries, then someone will get a gold. Everyone will get a gold. If there are,
Everyone gets their flowers.
everyone gets it. We don't have to arbitrarily determine a single winner or anything like that. So. It is open competition. We very much prefer it because it encourages people not to compete against others, but to compete against themselves rather than a very cutthroat perspective. So I can give you some stats. Gizzy85, thank you for asking. So as it stands right now, we have a number of entries.
More with three, at least.
At
three.
least 320 entries at this stage. We will get numbers tomorrow. We actually haven't closed entries yet, so we will still.
Standard's closed now.
Standard. Well, technically,
Obviously.
Standard doesn't close till 2:00 tomorrow because I didn't want anyone to miss out in case they brought their models late. The only downside is they won't get judged on stream, but I will judge them tomorrow.
Okay.
They've
That's
all
new
received nothing. No, that's not true. No.
Masters closes tomorrow, so we'll have definite stats.
Yeah, we'll have all the numbers tomorrow. We'll have total entrants. We'll have total entries. We'll have.
We generally announce it on the third day as well when we do the presentation for awards and stuff like that.
Indeed, we do.
So you're just gonna have to hang around for 3 days with
Yeah,
us.
just stick out for another 46 hours, and we'll get that information to you straight into your veins. As you can tell, we're just filling up time right now while these judges grab all of the models from the single figure category and move them over to the table for judging. So, and they've got to finish this in 40 minutes, which is going to be an impressive effort if they can do that.
Speed run this.
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
You've got to do that in? Well
40
done.
minutes.
You got 40 minutes to do it
40
in.
minutes.
6? Do I think I'll ever limit entries in the future?
No.
Interesting question.
You
Interesting
cannot-
question. Stifle creativity.
Yes. Yes.
So let me answer that with a sort of more of an open discussion. We've had the perspective of we want to encourage more entries because it helps the event be more sustainable, and that's why we have this Big Dano award for most entries. So we want people to be entering lots of things. We don't bump that. Sorry, that's holding the camera up. You're bumping that, you spud.
Camera.
Anyway,
Andy's here to ruin
so I
everything.
don't think we'll limit the number of entries per person. We probably have a hard cap on the number of entries that we can judge on a live stream, and that's where we have to make some calls in the future as to whether this approach to what we're doing is sustainable.
That's a future us problem, though.
Yeah, that's a problem for future Trent and future organisational team, but I just think it's a really important thing that we do that adds some real value. So, yeah,
All right.
we'll switch back over to the judges who are ready to go and blitz through it in 40 minutes.
You guys are live.
Probably.
We are live now.
You are live now.
We're back. We're here. We're full of energy.
Oh yes.
Buzzing with it.
It's like the beginning of the day.
Buzzing. Okay, alright.
Just woke up.
So, just so you know, we'd
late
love to be
start.
finished in 40 minutes.
Yes, that's what Trent just told
Yep.
me.
40 minutes to save the world.
We're fine.
Fine.
Plenty of time. You guys.
Give me a five.
Vibe. Bronze.
Yes, I think so as well. Yeah. It's a little bit simplistic, but it has volume, it has blending, it's nicely done.
Competently painted model.
Yep.
The face is a good focus point as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. It's also fairly well done, given that it is an absolutely tiny face.
Yeah.
Like the bolt is not painted.
Yes, and that is the front, actually.
Oh, yeah.
For that matter. Well, the back of it is really not painted, but yes, the bolter casing probably needs a little bit of detail. It's also fairly dusty, but again, I think that's probably the room's fault. So we'll leave that one out. Yep.
Have you looked at those guys already?
No.
Do you want to pass them down this end?
We're
and
kind of
I'll-
just heading through the spectrum, just
Yeah.
getting rid of a vibe.
Do you want to put them down this end and we'll go through them
The ones on the cards are a bit nerve-wracking, aren't they?
Very pretty.
Oh, yeah.
That's very
Yeah,
good.
striking.
This is a salamander.
It is a salamander. Missing the chapter badge, though, the emblem. Straight out. No emblem. Get out.
Not lore accurate.
Not lore accurate. Also, no Drake skin. Not lore accurate again.
What's the point?
Yeah, why bother? I think it's a silver or a bronze. So give me a vote.
I'm leaning towards silver because what they've done, they've executed really well.
Yeah. I like the light.
Yes. Note.
On it.
Note the presence of a Terminator.
Yep.
Right? It's quite
Yeah.
a steep drop off to darkness before we come up to this other light source here.
That's
I think this highlight is placed slightly wrong, but you know we can go on all day
Cool,
about
cool.
fairly minor criticisms. Yeah, let's just say silver initially.
love the scene this little guy is in.
That's a
I
silver.
didn't see this
reckon.
guy.
Yeah, it's a silver. I agree.
Yep.
Very well
think-
painted.
I think the
very
quality-
nice scene. Very well done.
Yes.
Scenery.
I think the amount of stuff done and probably the standard of the execution would have to be a bit higher to get to a gold.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just quite simplistic, but the scene is really nicely framed.
Yeah, he's telling a little story. And I like
yeah.
it. Here we go. Probably the craziest model we've looked at today.
Yeah, this is just weird as hell.
Yeah.
It's a silver.
Silver.
Yeah. What is it?
It's a patchwork horse.
Oh, yeah,
It's a 3D print, and it's the whole thing is like patchwork, dollhouse kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's very reminiscent of the infected horse.
Bronze for me.
I'd be inclined to go between silver and bronze. Because I think all the work on the fabric is really, really nice.
Yeah.
I think the terrain makes sense for the scenery.
I just think that we've set the line for silver as being to a fairly high quality of technical execution. I don't think this quite meets that. Like this texture does have creativity to it, yeah. But also, I mean, is it creative because it's doing what the sculptor's asking you to do? Really?
Yeah, not really, because none of this fabric texture is sculpted in.
Yeah.
Like they've
The choice of
But it's
fabric, the
handwork.
choice of texture
Yeah.
it works with the piece.
Silver, bronze,
Put it in the bubble.
They're saying your voices are a bit soft.
Soft.
we can scream.
I don't think we
Yell at
changed.
them.
Turn the game
Scream
up.
my judging
Now
recommendations.
you're peeking now. Sir. Oh.
I think we're just getting tired. Right?
Yeah.
The voice is
The room is
slowly.
loud.
Yeah.
It's getting louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try and
I'm
speak
definitely
up.
speaking more quietly than
Yeah.
I was 3 hours ago. 4 hours ago. 3.5 hours ago when we started this.
If you're gonna blue tack a model, put it under the base.
Yeah.
Yes, hide your blue tack, definitely.
At
Again.
least it's on a base.
Yeah. I think we don't want to be crushing people for sort of issues of finish too heavily, but
I think
100%
I'd be inclined to leave it off the plinth altogether because we have miniatures that are just on the base, and that's
Yes.
fine.
The plinth is nice because you can hold something.
Yeah, sure.
Bronze.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like all
Yeah,
the
no, I agree.
highlighting. It's
Yeah.
got nice sort of delineation of all of the bits.
The skin looks angry.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's
It
somewhere in the
works.
neighbourhood of Upland or over there, so it's bronzish.
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 We don't have a medal for bronzish.
No, we haven't done that one yet. Silver.
I think silver.
I think a high silver.
I'll try and frame it a little bit so we get the focus.
Stylistically, it's executed really well.
I think high silver is not an unreasonable,
Yeah.
Maybe it could be pushed up into gold.
Let's do border of silver to gold so we decide to gold
Yeah.
and see how this fits.
Yeah.
Because it's something like
Yeah,
that.
so some of the lighting definitely can be increased in intensity. I think the red tunic top, whatever she's wearing, is a bit flat.
I'm going to lean silver because the face is actually quite rough. If you look in, you get close enough to actually see this incredibly tiny face.
Yeah.
It's
But we
definitely
need to take a good look at it.
it's definitely got some technical issues. Go silver. That's a number.
Okay, yeah.
Commended. My vote.
Yeah.
Some nice fabric. An understanding of the existence of volumes. The rendering of them is a different issue.
The metal is quite simplistic.
I reckon that is below what we just said is bronze and above most of what we got. So that should be.
This one we were gonna
It looks really good on the camera.
Yeah, of course it does.
Jeez.
Oh man.
Just that light right in the middle.
Yeah, I know. That's
None
funny.
of that is on the model.
That is extremely funny.
But again, that's kind of that cold gold you were talking about before. It's not been painted yellow. It's
Yep.
a bit of consideration for the colour there. And I think that works really well with the greens and blues.
But it's such an absence of delineation in the elements, right? Like everything is just like the.
The trick for something like this, if the painter is watching, smash some Agarest Dunes contrast over all of your gold, and that'll fix all of your tonality plus separation
Smoke.
issues.
Smoke.
Level layer
Smoke,
smoke,
yeah.
Like thin that to a wash,
I
put
like
it over the whole thing,
serpent
you're done.
That'll fix your highlights.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, then you got to highlight it.
But
Some sort of contrast over it to
Yeah.
bring it together.
Commended.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wings are just kind of flat.
I think we're being pretty rough in this category because actually the bronzes are quite nice. But this is definitely below what we just said is a bronze. So let's just go commended.
I love this flip choice.
I know, it's wild, isn't it?
New stuff. but
Really
people
makes a
excited.
statement. I love it.
Do a bit of a-
Statement flip time.
Yes, this is insane. This play. I mean, we can't even really just to give the stream the vibe.
I love it.
This is what we're dealing with.
These guys are blitzing, aren't they?
So I think this.
Animals.
Yeah.
Absolute.
Right through now.
I think
This
this
is an
sort of
absolute statement. I love it.
I think it
the
actually
classic.
works.
It's so
It does.
Like, if you think about this in the framing of those old kind of anime, like Initial D,
Akira, like,
Akira,
yeah.
like the long bands of color and like the leading lines towards
Yeah,
the bike,
yeah.
I think the
It
print works for that.
with it.
I
yeah.
don't think it adds much, but weirdly, I don't have anything
It
against
doesn't
it.
detract.
Yeah. Normally, I would say, well, this is ridiculous. But it
Yeah,
actually
like, I think
seems
it's
to.
fine for this
It's a
piece.
bold choice. It's
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh, it's really well balanced with that huge thing.
I know it does
Tiny
oddly
mini
fit the
oddly
vibe of
balanced,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't, it just somehow works. I don't know how, but it just does.
I think if any criticism I have is make it fit the size of the base,
Yeah.
so it's flat.
Yes, that does it a little bit.
Yeah, that would definitely help.
If you want to have very smooth wood as well, you can just keep spraying it with filler primer and then sand it back. Polyfiller, Super Cheap Auto sells this stuff. It's good.
Really need to get some.
It's nice because I find the wood grain I actually dislike on a black plinth. I find it's a bit distracting.
Yeah.
And when it's really smooth, it's a bit more neutral, right? This is a silver.
Enough about the play.
Yes,
How
enough
does the
about this
paint
piece
look?
of
What
wood.
does the paint look like?
Yeah, silver over the
I like
boat.
it.
I think so.
Yep.
I think it's very clean.
It is.
It
In
pushes the
the
shadows down a bit more, but aside from that, yeah.
It could certainly use more contrast, but again, as I said 2.5 hours ago, unless we say it's got enough contrast, I think everything could probably use more contrast.
Blanket statement.
It's something in the vibe of what we've just said, so again, that looks reasonable to me.
There's a little too much blue in that one.
It's another stream banger.
Yeah.
Suits the camera very well. Silver. Gonna give it. I would be open to other.
I'm leaning towards bronze, but maybe in the middle of that, just for how chaotic the actual color
I'll
is.
tell you what, I actually think that it's a bit like the Rag Horse. So, silver, bronze. I feel like the execution is
In the
quite
bowl.
similar actually. Yeah. It's the
I
same
think
person
that-
actually, because it does feel.
It's
No.
sorry, yes, I do know the person.
A little bit too subtle.
Yeah.
This is really missing the upper end of the contrast range.
I really like these little pops of colour, but I feel like there could be more to draw your eye back up to the figure. He's very dark. He's very well painted, but he's also very
This
dark.
form's pointing in the wrong direction for the composition as well.
Yeah.
Trying to put the face on.
Yeah.
There's not really an angle where that horn
Yeah.
suits the lines, I think.
Also the same issue of cork is cork.
Yep.
But
Dead
also-
flat on the top.
Construction-wise, make sure your models stand flat on whatever surface they're on.
Yep.
Make sure they're connected to the
Yeah,
ground.
their feet should be in the ground.
Yeah.
Someone just said in chat, cork is cork.
Yep.
Cork is cork.
I think if you're going to do something like this, you need to be willing to fill in the gap under the feet with texture paste or something and repaint it. You got to be prepared to do that if you're going to glue a model onto a base and not know ahead of time that it definitely fits flush.
Yeah, definitely.
Because hoverfoot is a recipe for not good times. I think it's a bronze.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, chuck it.
I agree. The floating foot is a recipe for commended. This is what I want.
Killing it, yeah.
Gold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pretty, pretty.
I quite like it.
I want to talk about this one for a little bit as well because it's quite good. So I would like to critique it slightly more deeply. So if we go out here, this base, this is very poorly chosen. The composition is like, just doesn't work. It's way off to the side. There's no particular reason. Yeah, and importantly, nothing happens. Like maybe this works really well if there's something here. So you have this line. Like,
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
But it's actually just a focal point, and then offset. Nothing. It's
Yeah.
just offset, right? It really doesn't work. So that subtracts a lot. I really like the hue of the rocks.
Yes.
This colour is really nice. Yeah, probably could use a little bit more detail, like these edges need to be picked out. All these little runes, right? Go back to zoom now to cover the composition bit of it. Okay. All these little runes, they're very nicely dark lined, but there's just no highlight. Like something needs to be there, you know? I reckon that these wings need quite a bit more contrast.
The wings.
The wings, yeah, a bit more shadowing underneath them to really bring out the individual.
More separation of the feathers.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like white, especially in a composition like this, if you're having your focal point pulled so far out, make sure that the white of the wings are also pulling that focus towards you. So you're using some other colours in there, other atmosphere.
Yeah. More colours is exactly what I was going to say. This is just grey, really, right? Like, I think have some fun with it. You know, you got this crazy purple kind of magenta armor right next to this white. You can see some reflection of that light. There's a lot of good stuff to do with this, and then
those,
this is very
those
boring.
feathers are volumes like hair. You know, you want to sort of give the shadow and then the highlight edge.
Yes,
And,
yeah. There's a curvature to these wings, and that curvature is not really addressed in the light and shadow, right? So you should be having sort of highlight, and then a bit more shadow, and then another highlight. There's a lot of shape to it. This needs something on the back, this banner. It just looks doesn't work, and the wings have nothing going on either, so it just looks all blank from the back.
And a separation issue as well, with like a clear white right next to the jetpack.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, the volumes on the armor are really nice. The color choice very well considered. The banner works really well.
Yeah, the helmet is outstanding.
Really, really nice.
Yeah.
Rate that highly.
And I like how clean the like checkered band, I guess.
Yes,
Plume.
the plume.
And then last but not least, the spear could have used a lot more time on these edges. Just highlight them, you know? I can see that there's a highlight there, but it's nowhere near bright enough to be effective. Lovely, gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Same.
That's one in.
Little socks. Some friends.
Yep, that's a commended from me.
I think so. I thought it deserved a look.
Angry bun.
Yeah, it's cute, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, commended?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I think the painting is just not.
Yes, that's it. Little dwarf. What is he?
I don't know, he does look like a dwarf.
He's a bit tall to be a dwarf,
Slightly,
isn't he?
yeah, I know. Slightly
Maybe I'm just
I had that on camera and I didn't even look.
Oh, well done.
I'm a real streamer
I'm
now.
so proud of you.
Whoa.
I think the non-metallics definitely need to go darker.
It's a bronzer recommended.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think you gave something similar.
I'd put it in between, probably.
I think it kind of is in between.
Compared to that.
Oh, it's definitely better than that.
This.
No, this. Let's say bronze. Bronze to review it. I think it's actually kind of borderline. If we don't have a category for that, then let's just say it's bronze.
Given the other stuff recommended.
And if it's borderline. Ah, this one looks great on the camera again. A little bit brighter, might. No.
Looks good over there.
Yeah.
Feels the samey. I think bronze is fair for that one.
Yeah. Definitely not to this level.
Yeah, these
From
two,
what I can
these two are much better. So it's that. Yeah, this maybe is a one I want to consider.
I am going to say
Composed really nicely. My next one.
The back.
There are a lot of elements on this that are just
really everything is
The back of that. Yeah.
Is that freehand or is that? No. Yeah,
It's the sculpt, I think.
that's sculpt.
I think it's a silver. Yeah. Just because this is purple.
Oh no, I have played this.
Like,
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah,
I see it, right, yeah.
I think this is so nice.
Oh, yeah.
You get a bit distracted by it.
Yeah.
And you go, it's wonderful. But I think a lot of this is just.
Yeah, but I'm also picking up on this gorgeous blue highlight in here.
Oh, yeah.
Colour scheme is just
This-
gorgeous.
This, very, very nice. This cane here and all this armour, really lovely. I think a lot of the fabric is just like a
It
flat
could
colour.
do with another pass.
Or if
yeah.
it's not a flat colour, it doesn't have enough.
They've done that.
I think it is just a single colour. I will say so.
Yeah, we did
Right, okay. You can't put stuff on the table.
Yeah, okay.
Certainly more nicely done.
Then these ones though.
Yeah, technically it's nice. It's somewhere in there because the purple really close.
And I think the yellow down the bottom.
I think
It's quite muddy. Yeah.
So if we put these guys in silver and then he goes in silver, I don't think that's necessarily out of bounds.
No, I don't think
I
it's
think
crazy.
that's a pretty good call.
We don't know if it's 100% same. We'll have to
In the middle.
go middle. for the
Reshuffle.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come back to it.
Bronze.
Yeah, he feels very flat.
It's too flat.
to me.
It's
Yeah.
too flat. I like that there's a
I like the
scene, that there's a
base,
bit of
yeah,
composition
yeah.
to it. The base is oversized again, I would
Colour
say.
scheme is cool, but there's no mention of any volumes in there.
No hover foot.
No, he
No
doesn't
hover foot.
hover. No, he's
Good rule of thumb with bases is the base should be exactly as big as it needs to be to tell the story. And I think if there is a story, it's not clear what it is. I mean, if he's on like a plane by himself, you probably don't need a base quite this big to tell that story.
Yeah.
Bronze.
I think it's all neat.
Oh, it's okay. It's really good.
I feel like that's just because the blue is just blue.
It's just very basic, yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think has the back been highlighted at all.
There's shading, but not much highlight. And the base, though, is nice.
We'll go with the shovel.
Yeah.
We'll give the shovel a bonus.
Yeah.
It's all in that shovel.
Technically disqualified because it's two models and this is a single category.
Yeah, straight out.
Okay, I don't know.
You guys did Liam, didn't you put things in the categories?
To some extent, I did. We'd have to ask this person what category they actually entered it in. There was something of a lack of system.
Move stuff.
Well, we didn't actually have a way to know what category.
Right, yeah.
I think this is maybe a silver.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just got the crispness and the sharpness that we're kind of aiming for. Isn't it?
Yeah. Nice balance.
It's easy to get tricked by just true scale 28 though, because it's so tiny that everything looks quite crisp.
Well, that just means it's very easy to make it look muddy.
You could argue that, yes, yeah.
And the fact that it's not.
I think it's not this hill.
So is this one then technically two fingers?
Yes.
Single.
It's kind of a jewel, isn't
They're
it?
connected as one.
Commended.
Very creative. Yeah, the custom stuff in the middle there.
Let's make sure this lands on the screen. Hey, he's kicking this dude.
Kicking him in the face.
He's got him.
Who's this guy
Little
shooting?
jetpack.
I think he's just wildly firing into the distance after being kicked in the chest. Commended, it's fun. I like it. That's a cut.
Yeah, I liked parts of this
Yes, that's
job,
nice. Yeah.
but then other parts let it down a little bit. The
Yeah.
contrast
Yeah.
treatment on their scales and stuff.
This is another one where the gold's just metallic gold. Yeah. I think there's a bit of a wash in there,
There
right?
is a little bit of a highlight going on that.
Yeah, and that's a cut.
Back to the show.
back of the shop.
It's massive.
Yeah, I think the plinth works it's quite a creative idea.
I love a weird fish
Yeah,
in
definitely.
resin. You know, I'm a
Yeah.
big enthusiast of that. My
splashes
back
as well are
catalogue
very
of work will confirm that statement. I still think it's a bronze though.
Yeah, I think
Just the
bronze.
execution is
Yeah,
not.
Yeah.
If we look at this,
Yeah.
all of these are
It's
much
not-
sharper, much
it's not
nicer.
clever.
Yeah, bronze. Unless you have a very strong different opinion.
No, I think creativity-wise definitely pulls it up. Commended.
But the execution is very
Very clean.
Oh yeah, crisp as hell, man.
Same painter
I
as
would say
Pete.
it's
It's silver.
I mean, honestly, right?
Bronze silver.
Aesthetically,
Yes.
execution
Yeah.
is exactly the same as that bike. So if we're giving that a silver, that's definitely silver.
What is it? Oh, no, it's
Oh, I like the light treatment on this guy. It's quite unusual.
Yeah. I'll critique it a little bit because the light doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what.
it's well painted, but it's not like
Yeah.
where's the light coming from?
I mean, what's happening on the stomach?
Yeah.
This is impossible to actually. This looks a bit more like he's on fire.
Yeah.
So in a very
I mean, he
kind
could
of
be.
magically way.
It could be.
I know, but the fact that he's got a torch
He
makes me
does.
think this is supposed
It's
to be
also
the light
not the
source.
brightest thing. The torch is quite dark.
It surely was the brightest thing.
Snap judgment, left to right.
I'd probably say bronze.
I'll hold my view.
I'm leaning to Monday.
Ooh, tiebreaker. Can we do border bronze commended?
You guys are very good. You don't need no many tiebreakers. Okay.
Reasonably. This is cool. I like this.
Oh, I like the backdrop treatment there. I think that's
It's
an
nice.
interesting
It suits,
scene.
It suits the
Yeah.
figure. Right?
It doesn't really detract from it because it's not overly detailed.
Bronze, my snap judgment.
Yeah.
Bronze.
Yeah.
It's really just like, this is a lovely scene, looks very nice, it works, but there's lots of technical elements that could be improved a lot,
Yeah.
I think, to elevate it to silver.
Very heavily armored figure. Like, that's going to reflect everything around it.
And again,
it's very bright
it's the
around.
edges and the recesses, you know? Like, you can't, it's hard to distinguish where the shield ends and his face
Yeah.
begins, because there's no edge on it.
There's
Like,
no edge, yeah.
This is something that definitely everybody who's entered today can improve on.
There's also not a lot of like anything from the terrain moving onto
Yeah,
the figure,
no
like no
environmental
dust or
interaction.
anything like that.
Yes,
What are we doing?
correct.
Bronze?
Yeah.
I really like everything except the head.
Yes.
It's not the right colour choice. I get that he's a dark elder.
I think
He's
it's
not.
Some kind.
He's a blood angel.
Well,
Angel. Yeah.
Bronze.
shows what I know.
Well, at least you knew it was an elder. I had no
That
idea
was
what that
peak
was.
Warhammer lore coming in right there. It's a commended or a cut. I think we're trying to be on the more generous end.
Yeah, I think
I think, I don't know.
The freehand on the cloak.
Yeah, the freehand is sort of weirdly out of kilter with the rest of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's far
Oh,
better.
I didn't
Like,
realise it.
really well done.
Yeah, it's far better than the rest of it, which is interesting. Commended bronze line. Okay. I'll have another look just because of the freehand confused me. Shiny, real shiny.
Also know who painted this one.
Oh yeah, he's very shiny, isn't he?
It's commended for me.
Yeah.
This is rough.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
fix
light
this
is quite.
light, yeah. I think the problem here is there's too much white in your light, right? So you get this really chalky effect. You don't really need to use a color with a lot of white in it. Just like a straight magenta or violet would glaze much more smoothly.
Placement and concept is fine. It's just that, that color.
Have a whirl with some of the contrast paints. Whoever painted this, there's like a bunch that are single pigment. There's Leviathan purple or whatever it is. That's the violet. And there's Doomfire magenta. That's the magenta. Those are nice and translucent, and they won't get that chalky effect because they have no white in them.
Good advice.
Commended.
When
Commended.
Yeah, I think when you compare it to the others in the same category,
nice elements, and then it kind of just stops at the
very
waist.
competently painted, game winning.
Do bronze. Oh, the time.
Oh no, we're rushing. It's 10 to 6.
You guys are good.
Well done.
Got 10
Great
minutes.
job. Great job.
Plenty of time.
10 minutes.
Commended, I think.
Commanded? Not bronze. Like I'm leaning towards bronze. The front is very clean. And like the sharp features are kind of well represented.
I'm landing on that commended bronze line more than I mean, you're right about this all being quite sharply rendered. I just think the fabric feels like all of it feels pretty. Okay, I'll say bronze. Maybe. Is that bronze? Well, hey.
Cool.
It's a little man in a trench.
Yeah.
Bronze.
Yeah, I quite like him.
Yeah.
I like the
Red,
scene. I think
the
it
scene.
suits,
I really love
suits the mini.
the base is still. It's just
Yeah.
nested
I think
in
this is
there.
one that lacks
Yeah,
the
you can
kind of
pick 'em
sharpness
out.
that we're looking for in silver.
Yeah.
But it's creative. The lighting actually works. Like I
yeah.
think this does
Yeah.
look about right. Maybe it's a touch too yellow, that cast light, but it's pretty close. It's a nice little scene.
It is.
Bronze.
I quite like this little guy. I think he's very well painted.
Definitely least bronze.
I like the metallic.
What is that helmet?
This is peak build.
What?
Yeah, peak male performance.
Oh,
Yeah.
pink.
Yeah, it's how do I get this build, honestly?
I think this is a silver.
I would be inclined to agree there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
really nicely
the
done.
metallics are done very well.
I think
Yeah,
this
it's
kind
well-
of sharpness and crispness and rendering we've
Yeah.
been giving silver.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just roll with that. And also, I liked the orangey
looks like an
metal with the
Arizona
blue
teepee.
border. That was a nice contrast.
I love the colour of this
Yeah, that
one.
colour is
Yeah. I like the weathering treatment, the distressing on the paint, the orange. It's very
In
done.
terms of some of the volumes, but
Silver, I reckon. I'll give it a silver.
Yeah.
Also, like, I mean, you know, mold line, a little bit of sprue, whatever that thing's called.
again, construction of the model is really
Yeah, clean that stuff up. Like, you definitely, whoever painted this spent quite a while on it.
Yeah. It's
Start
worth
off
doing
with
that
10
extra
minutes
step.
of cleaning
Yeah.
all the mold lines up.
It's the hardest part, is cleaning the model, but it's honestly so good.
Always worth it.
And if you don't already know, you can scrape it and then use Tamiya extra thin glue or anybody else's extra thin plastic glue, and it will kind of melt all the shavings and stuff, so it's really, really smooth. Just paint a thin layer of it over after you're done sanding and scraping and all that.
silver.
Yeah. So,
Again, looks nice on camera.
The flames are glossy, like weirdly glossy.
Yes,
Oh, is that flames? I thought it was goo.
I mean,
I think it's fine.
smoke.
Chaos plasma.
It is goo! See, I'm right!
Bronze.
yeah. I want to say silver bars. There's things I wouldn't.
Tell you what I find amazing. We split the judging in half this year, and yet we still have like roughly 11 seconds to consider
I know.
each piece. It's like, whoop. Bloody hell.
Frosting with the super glue.
Yes, the super glue frosting has been like a theme of standard, hasn't it? I don't remember seeing this much.
Do you think it's because
ever.
it's been so humid
Maybe.
this season?
Yeah.
But surely you'd notice it before you like
Yeah.
smell it, right?
Yes, for anyone who's joined recently, I mean, paint over this after it dries, like frost.
Yeah.
Fix that issue. Nice composition. It looks really good on the camera, I reckon. Lovely.
Cork is cork.
Cork's cork.
Cork is cork.
If you're trying to do
This is
something
less
like
cork
this,
like cork than
it
the
is,
rest of the cork,
it is
actually,
true.
yeah.
Looking under here though, for whoever did this, just like cut it so it's not
Yeah.
jutting
It's
out.
the same thing we said before, like anytime you have a flat from the cork, just break up the flat, pull chunks out of it,
Yeah.
whatever.
Drops on it.
Thoughts?
I would like to say silver.
I think silver as well.
Yeah.
I think I need to look at it a bit more closely.
Yeah.
So I'm just like seeing shadow.
Yes, it's going to be hard from that angle. It's crap.
Yeah, silver.
It's just me wearing a seatbelt.
Bronze. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Silver's definitely going to be
Do we have a card for this one? Oh, it's under. Bronze.
No, the numbers
underneath
under
it.
yeah.
Okay.
would have been before we figured out a system.
Yes, probably. I commend it.
Yeah.
Horse.
Fairly clean, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing too interesting.
We can look at it in context with the
Yeah.
rest again. I think it's not a bronze.
This is my favourite.
I like this one. I also know who did this one.
We should stick on this one.
Love it.
Really nice. Yeah.
They also did the patchwork horse.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Same
Yeah.
colour palette, I guess.
Yeah.
It is a bit similar. Yeah, gold for sure. I think.
Really like the composition, creativity.
Everything's very well thought out.
Perspective in the backdrop, like
Backdrop works
it's
so
beautiful.
well.
It's a lovely, very
Lovely-
nicely
lovely
painted
piece.
little Italian countryside
Yeah.
scene
Yeah.
back there, or Spanish.
Greek?
Could be anywhere.
I think it's meant to be Greek.
Greek.
Greek? What's Greek to me?
Greek.
Mediterranean. We said on stream.
Mediterranean.
Yeah, we're
That's
like
the
Italian,
term we
Spanish, Greek.
need.
Yeah, it's all of them. They're all
Mediterranean.
No, but this is beautiful. Like
Really like this.
it's my favourite.
Nice,
Great
isn't
job.
it? Yeah, I mean, again, there's lots of technical comments that could be made about it, but I mean, in the interest of our whole 11 seconds per entry rule,
It's all
It's gold. Everyone said gold.
let's go. Let's move on. Silver bronze line for me.
Yeah, I think silver bronze.
I'm not exactly sure. I want to see the rest in context
Yeah.
again. Remember that
Oh,
statement.
look at you guys. 2 minutes.
See if you
Holy
can
crap,
get
it's 2 minutes to 6.
Yep.
This is the
You have
last
2 minutes
one.
to talk about this piece.
2 minutes. Bring that other one back.
I really like this area.
Yes.
Like it's really nice focus.
I feel like it's got a bit more going on with the bronzes and it's not as crisp as the silvers. I just awarded 2 golds. I might have to, you know.
Again,
Down a little
construction
bit.
is really
Getting a bit
important.
excited about the golds there.
I know it's not like visible, but construction includes underneath the model.
Yeah.
old-
It hurts me.
The old CR2032 wedged in the base. I love it.
Oh, so
Jammed in there.
battery has been on all day.
It's doing
It's
good.
doing great.
It's doing well.
It does the job.
I'll give it a bronze, I reckon, for sure. Yeah.
It's creative,
I think
it, like,
it's
it,
quite
and it's
creative, yeah.
executed well as well.
I think technically speaking, it's not dissimilar to what we've awarded bronze anyway.
Yeah.
And managing to hollow out the head of a plastic figure and stick
Yeah.
it
Without
yeah.
ruining like any of the other
Hide the
details.
wires.
Yeah.
And then painting it.
I also don't know whether this is sculpted or printed, but all of this is not original to the
No.
Oh, right, okay.
all this stuff
Yeah.
down here.
Bronze.
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 Well
silver
done.
bronze.
Excellent work.
We
We
did
should have
it.
done 30 seconds more.
With time to
that.
spare.
There's something else to do.
No, so thank you everyone for watching on stream. What we're going to do now is close up and we're going to go and select our best of standard. The judges will be back available tomorrow for some questions from people. 10 o'clock somewhere we'll have a table set up for them to be answering questions.
Yeah.
And we might have a chat to them on stream.
And we'll have a chat to them at some time as well. So thank you very much, Liam, Nathan, Seona. You're wonderful people. Amazing
It was
work.
very fun.
And we'll see you all on stream tomorrow.
And well done,
Thanks,
everyone.
Mum.
Fantastic.